Round one of OOR's Endurance Series at the Circuit of the Americas. Austin McNeil for the Milk Racing team blew us away in the top 10 shootout, putting on an esports level time on the board before Admiral Name clutched up in the final lap of the day and put the HPTN Motorsports Ferrari at the front of the grid. With both drivers suiting up again tonight, will they repeat the dose? Or will the likes of Lucas Keys and Shady Samuel challenge for pole position of the Octane Online Racing Zolder 8-hour presented by Thermal Take? Hello and good evening, everybody. My name is Jamie Comboy. It's great to be on your airwaves again. Hello to everyone out there in YouTube chat. I am joined tonight for the first time in the Octane Online Racing commentary booth by David Stevenson. Hello, Davo.
Hello, JC. How are you, mate? That is an incredible intro to follow on from. So feeling a little insecure now, but looking forward to being there with you hand in hand, looking forward for qualifying in the coming hour.
Yeah, well, we just get to ease our way into it beautifully here too, though, because we've got this little community race coming up first with the BMW M2 cars trying to catch up and keep up with the Porsche Cup cars. Now, I don't like their chances, but I think you've done a little calculation and the Porsches are going to catch the BMWs at some point.
Yes, looking at some of the times in practice currently going on, or actually qualifying going on right now, looking around lap 12 through 15, I think we'll catch the Cup cars will catch the BMWs through this race. So there might be a little bit of chaos here coming towards mid-race, if not a little bit towards the end. So exciting times.
Absolutely no need to curse things when you know damn well that at a track like this, with how tight it is and how few overtaking opportunities there is, once those Porsche Cup cars catches the M2s, we're going to see all sorts of carnage. So strap yourselves in for that, ladies and gentlemen. Hello to everyone in chat. Hello to you, grandmother of OOR, Jan Tully. Lovely to see your name in there. Diabols, of course, Nick Jones, Kamara's, plenty of regulars here on this wonderful Thursday evening. And as I said, I'm just glad to be back in the comms booth. I've missed you. I've missed all of you out there in YouTube chat, and I'm just glad to be back at it. So, as I said, preparing for the Zolder 8-hour coming up later this week. The first leg of the Grand Belgian Tour, too, by the way. A lot of drivers participating in this race will do the 8 hours in the afternoon and then sneak across and do the Spa 24-hour, so the other inferior Belgian track, if you ask me, to follow up very close. So 32 hours of racing coming your way, if you know where to find it. Of course, this one for OOR will be streamed right here on YouTube on the Saturday afternoon. And then the iRacing Spa 24 will be, I'm sure you'll find Twitch streams out there or YouTube streams out there from myself included, but a lot of other drivers as well, as I said, are doing the dual-legged Belgian Grand Tour.
See, that is absolutely incredible that you'll want to be doing that. I think that's just a glut for punishment right there. But, I think first and foremost, looking at Zolder off the rip, I was doing some laps the other night, and what a fun little track this is, and I can see why it's a fan favorite for so many drivers out there.
Yeah, I personally love this track as well. As I said, I personally think this is the superior Belgian track. Spa, not horrible. I know Spa's got a lot of haters out there, and Mike Crick looking your way, who's also doing the Spa 24-hour just quietly. But yeah, the Zolder, I think, is just a much more fun. It's much more complex. There's a lot more sort of interesting lines and things that can be taken, especially through this sort of middle sector here. Those chicanes, obviously, you can get all sorts of happy with the cutting and whatnot. Now, it's actually not as happy as it used to be. For those who don't know or haven't been to Zolder for a little while, we used to absolutely straight line the first chicane. And that's not the case anymore for almost all of the GT3 cars now. So I think the Bentley handles it pretty well, the Nissan pretty well, but most of the other cars, just with the way that the suspension has developed in the Kunos engine, we're not actually able to attack that first chicane anywhere near as much as we used to. So whilst still a very fun track, that's a bit of a downside for mine.
I was online on Wednesday night doing some laps just to try and get a little bit more familiar with this circuit, as only being an academy driver myself. Definitely not used to the previous generation, and in the McLaren, those curves were quite interesting the first few laps, but got used to it, and seeing these guys putting in some fast lap times on the Wednesday night was a little eye-opening. But yeah, heading into this BMW session, quite close to the top here through the first two, but dropping off quite significantly as the top 10. So interesting to see if that closes up as this session continues.
Yeah, absolutely. Well spotted too. Zach Jensen, by the way, up there in P1. Hello. If you don't mind, Becky Hugs with a 41.6. That's extremely quick. Just trying to work out exactly how he's gone ahead and done that, because you've got drivers like Ricciuti and Babby and Johnson who are all very, very fast sprint drivers, and no discredit to Zach Jensen, but if you told me that he'd be in front of those three in any class of car, I would have told you to go get stuffed. So he's done bloody well to put it on P1. And just looking at Ricciuti here, who looks to be the only BMW left on a lap. I don't know whether he's going to complete it. Glenn, obviously, in the background is going to help me and understand, because obviously the delta here is showing that it's 2 minutes 30 into the lap. So we know that ACC has a bit of a bug. We'll just see if he completes it or if he's just having a bit of fun here, maybe practicing spinning. He's going to come around the final chicane here, and he's going to throw it over the line. So we'll see whether this registers, but I'm not sure. Comes up to the checkered flag. Well, it's not the checkered flag. No, unfortunately not. And Ricciuti was disqualified. Interesting. I don't know why he was disqualified. He's gone from P2 and has crashed out of qualifying there. So either the stewards have taken a dislike to something that he's done. No, there you go. They've cleared that out. He is back up there in his rifle spot in P2. So, as I said, Zach's up in there in P1. Biggie Hugs, nice work. Ricciuti P2 for the BMWs. And a couple of familiar faces in Babby and Johnson rounding out the second row. It's interesting that the top two cars there, none of them showing purple sectors, so really good consistency across the lap from Jensen and Babby, but then Johnson and Gormley especially with two purple sectors. Big Johnny, if you don't mind. That's very nice pace from those two.
Yeah, just over 6/10 slower in that last sector, so who knows where that's gone awry, whether it's been the hairpin or the last chicane coming into the main straight. But yeah, I'm sure he was on for an absolute flyer there, but lost out in that last sector.
Diabol's one of our resident stewards pointing out that Ricciuti should have been in the pits. He's gone out there for one last lap and shouldn't have, because he's not in the Discord. He's not in the race control room. He hadn't got the stewards in his ears, so he's just been out there being cheeky. But anyway, the Porsche Cup's now out there, and this man, Lucas Keys, if there's anyone who can wrangle the Porsche Cup around, look at him. He's already on the sideways trajectory on his outlap, if you don't mind. This man loves the Porsche Cup car. So expect him to be right up the pointy end at the end of these 8 minutes.
And mate, Kamaris in the YouTube chat, the Cup car sounds pretty good. They sound incredible. I was on board a little bit earlier watching some practice, and yeah, it's definitely a car that I'm interested to do a few more laps in, especially when they sound like that. A little bit of Kevin Estra vibes with the Lucas Keys car as well, the fluoro yellow.
I thought I recognised it. Well spotted from you. I was trying to rack my brain, because he's usually all about the meme liveries, but of course, no custom liveries here in this little community event. So everyone just going out there and just sort of whipping together something within ACC. So a lot of limited options in terms of what they can produce. But yeah, I thought that one looked a little familiar. And as you said, a bit of a Kevin Estro number.
Was it a BMW that he pumped in the Nordschleifer 24-hour, was it? Or was it a different car?
It was a very ambitious overtake, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was very ambitious.
Yeah, it didn't quite get that right.
A little bit sad for that team, though. You know, essentially led from pole to pole, but you know, the penalty coming late just killed them.
Yeah, speaking of killing people, there's been a couple of accidents on the Nordschleifer pretty recently. Of course, no one actually dying, which we thank our lucky stars for, but a couple of big incidents on the public track days. I saw one the other day where another BMW was involved. I can't remember the other car, but some really big collisions have occurred at the Nordschleifer over the last couple of days. And as I said, thankfully no one's died or been, I don't think even some massive injuries came out of that. So very lucky, but it is a very dangerous track, the Nordschleifer, and that's why we love it. Tell you what, Two Fig here has had to pull, I don't exactly know what, I think he's had to order in a new wheel, or might be a new rig or something. I know damn well that he's had absolutely no practice. Even for the main race, the Zolder 8 hour, obviously in the HP NT Motorsports car that won at Coda. Sorry, was on pole at Coda. They didn't win the race, but they were on pole at Coda. So yeah, Two Fig name, Hamilton and Purcell in that Ferrari. He's going to be coming into the Zolder 8 hour this week with no practice whatsoever. As I said, I think he's ordered in a new wheel or something. So very good effort from Tufig to not only show up for the Zolder 8 hour, but to be here in the Porsche Cup race as well with zero practice.
The quality that he brings, mostly on sprint nights, I'm sure that's probably not too much of a hassle for him. He might miss the first stint and try and get some practice in, and I'm sure he'll be fine come Zolder time on Saturday. Speaking
of damn fine, your pace has been damn fine, Steve-O. Tell me a little about Silverstone while we've got these 5 minutes ticking over and a couple more laps come through. How did your Silverstone race go with the Academy/Sprint Pro-Am?
Mate, that was absolutely unbelievable from Hobbsy to put that together for us this season. This is my third season of Academy, so this is first Academy Enduro, and getting all the sprint guys around us and really having a great time learning from them. The race is still a little bit of a sore point for me after leading most of it with Mr. Diggles, Aaron Lee himself, and three mistakes in the last stint really hurt my chances. And then chasing down, of course, Mr. Lucas Keys and his teammate. Just trying to push too hard, trying to pass in the last couple of minutes, and spun out through Maggots and Beckett's. But it was an absolute unbelievable experience to have so many sprint guys want to jump on board with the Academy scene and really help us through that time, because we're always trying to push faster and faster and get up to that sprint series caliper and speed, but sometimes the wise heads of you guys really make sure that we have a really clean race, and that's what it really was. It was incredible to see no safety cars for 3 hours and really not too many incidents or even penalties across that entire time. So mate, it was unbelievable to have that opportunity to be with you guys.
As you said, thank you to Hobbsy and Glenn and Matt for putting that one on for us. It's a great idea. It's been coming for a while, the Pro-Am, and it's just sort of worked out to this season. And I thought it was a great idea, and it was well executed from all reports. Unfortunately, I missed out. I signed up for it. I was so excited to get it done, but then double booked myself, so I missed out. But yeah, from all reports, it just went off without a hitch, and everybody, sprint drivers and Academy drivers, absolutely loved the 3 hours. So yeah, I'm glad to hear that your race went very well. I was sort of following on from a distance, and from what I heard, you were really pumping away up there inside the top 2 for most of the race. So as I said, really good to hear.
It was unbelievable. Talking about unbelievable, the air time that these cup cars are getting over some of these curbs is absolutely incredible.
Brady added in here is really closing the gap on, obviously can't overtake in qualifying. Not sure the rules will be relaxed just because it's a community race. Obviously, we still obey all of Octane Online Racing's guidelines when it comes to any race that we participate in. So I just said the pogo suspension of these Porsche Cup cars is really causing some problems for the cars as they head through. Even that second chicane, which is generally pretty flat, especially in the GT3 car. It's the Porsche Cup car's really struggling to keep all 4 wheels grounded. So as I said before, this is going to be it's going to be a crazy sort of race we get here, especially as I said, once these Porsche Cup cars catch the M2s, we're going to have a lot of fun. Lucas Keys has put the Q in the rack, and he's in the pits with the 29.4, so he won't be improving with 2 minutes to go. As I said, Brady up there in P3, a nice lap, and Fadley Rackmat here as well, only half a second off, so he'll be trying to hunt down Lucas Keys on pole. But as I said, that 29.4 looks very impressive at the moment, very hard to catch.
Again, this little Godfrey on his pink car here, again, just bouncing through the chicane. See how he gets through this. Oh, just does not want to stay on the ground at all, but still gaining time. So see how we can stay on the board with this, because he's up a lot, and see if we can finish this lap here. Yeah,
8/10 up as he comes down towards, I think this is Boulderberg. This little hairpin is a pain in the ass little hairpin here. It's a little tighter than you think it is. It looks like a right-angled corner, but it's just a little sharper than that. And a lot of the cars really struggled to get turned in to that hairpin. So he's done pretty well to keep a hold of all his tenths and then make up a few more too as he comes through the final sector. So this is really going to shoot him up the board here.
P5, well done.
P5 and just a skerrick away from that P5 there too. So P6 for Godfrey. He's got a little bit more time here. He's got one more lap and finds 2/10. Oh, that's a bit wide there, though. So he's going to lose a bit of that. And he's going to lose the rest of it there. Unlucky, Brocky. It's all right. Very good pace. He's showing very good pace. He'll be looking forward to the race.
These laps are coming in thick and fast at the moment. It's getting a lot tighter in that top 5.
Johnston
unlucky.
Saying he's done. Very fast fruit bowler and has recently joined the sprint series as well and demonstrated that he's not just a public lobby merchant. He's very strong in the sprint series now that he's joined in.
We have 2 cars left on track. All done.
And they're looking. Oh, Davo's there too. Hello. Davo's going to have a lap, are you? You're in the server, is that correct? That's what I'm seeing.
I shouldn't be. Game's definitely closed now. I was before. As I said, I was before.
Yeah, it just happens at the end of qualifying when the leaderboard, it sort of updates with every car who participated in the session, whether they're there or not. So would have been interesting to see you sort of get out there and get us underway while commentating. That would have been a baller.
Mate, point of view would have been incredible. But mate, talk us through, the session's obviously going to start and the race is going to start. Talk us through some of your strategy potentially as a Porsche guy at the front or the mid, and especially a BMW guy maybe at the front that's going to be, maybe dealing with a little bit of, carnage turn 1 in the Porsches. And talk us through some of your mindset that you might be doing here in this community race.
Well, my mindset if I'm Lucas Keys is go fast, drive fast, and he will. So there'll be absolutely no issues for him. You'll see him pull out a pretty comfortable lead within the first lap or so. He's very good on cold tyres, Lucas Keys. He's very good out of the box. He really never has much trouble. If he starts from pole, he generally just pulls away and buggers off into the distance. And because his gap at the start, at the top of the grid there, was so strong, I would expect that to be the case here. But for everyone behind him, it'll be a case of trying to get the tyres. So there's no tyre warmers on these cars. You've seen in the Sprint Series and in the Academy Series, everyone starts on nice, warm tyres, and that's not the case here in the Porsche Cups. So couple that with the fact that they are no TC cars, you'll see a lot of these drivers being very cautious. I would hope in the first couple of laps as they try and bring those tyres up to temperature, they'll be giving each other a lot of space and really just trying to make it through the first couple of laps. But once that tyre is green and they get up to temperature, they're very fun to race side by side, especially the BMWs. Their collision model's a little gentler than the GT3s and any of the other cars in ACC. So they can do a little bit of side by side. Rubbing is racing. Now, obviously, we hope they don't do that through the chicanes because not really capable. Even these slow M2s are not really capable of going through the chicane side by side. But for the rest of the track, the M2s, you'll see them get their elbows out, I reckon. And as I said, just do a little bit of rubbing is racing. So if they can't sort that out by the time the Porsche Cups come around, though, oh, Jesus Christ, that's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for the last 10 minutes of this race because it is going to be absolute chaos as the Porsche Cup cars start to come through these BMWs.
Also, shout out to some of these guys. It's definitely not a livery series that we're running, but hey, there's been a bit of effort put into some of these cars. They look incredible.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a
BMW down there with a fair bit of stuff going on. I was really proud of that.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And there's very varied colours too. There's no real sort of standout. That black and orange one actually stands out. I'm actually a big fan of that, even though you would not normally suggest that black and orange stands out amongst anything else. That's
there's a white and red Beamer right there on the right.
Yeah,
that's a lovely looking car. That's a good one.
I was wondering what was going to happen to him. So we did see Tufig obviously not set a lap in that qualifying session in his Porsche Cup car. I did say that he's still sort of really getting used to whatever new gear he's running, a wheel or a rig or pedals or something anyway. So he just didn't get a lap down, which means that he's not even allowed to start at the back of the grid and fight his way through the BMWs. He's going to have to watch everyone get the green flag, bugger off into the distance, and then fight his way through the M2s as they start probably their second or third lap. So really busy half an hour coming up now for Moin Tufik as he has to not just fight through his competition in the Porsche Cup cars, but all the M2s first.
Maybe my vote for hard charger. seeing that, he's probably got the most cars to pass to even get up to a Porsche Cup car.
Well, there's our first poll in chat. Ladies and gentlemen, where does 2Fig finish? All right, so you've got 14 Porsche Cup cars up the front, and then at P15, the BMWs start. So you would assume that 2Fig will get to P15 at a minimum. He's got half an hour to get through all the M2s. You would expect him to get that done. But then, how many Porsche Cups does he get through? Where does 2Fig finish? Your answers in chat, please. I'm still going to go. He's quality. I'm still going to go 11th. I'm feeling maybe a couple of the Porsche guys might have a little incident, and we might just get a couple of freebies in there. But there's a good pace across the board, and that's why I'm not going to go too much higher than that. You know what? I was actually going to say P11 as well. So let's just say I'm not going to steal that from you. Let's say Comms team chooses P11. I'm very happy with that call. That's very good from you, and because we both went for it, I reckon that's right. P7 is the guest from Kamaris, who's our number one contributor in chat tonight, by the way. So if you want to get that crown going, get around it. But anyway, here we go. Up towards the green light. A few gaps back there and around about P8, P9. So hopefully they close that up before we go green. But they haven't got much time because the flag is down and I called it too early. We are away. It is green. And it is Lucas Keys in the yellow on the inside, followed by... I thought it was going to be Fadley Rackmat, but it looks like Brady Adderton might have... So Fadley might have dropped to the back of the Porsche Cup cars. So it is Brady Adderton who's got a nice start around the outside of turn 1. And down inside of turn 2, there's not a lot of grip on the inside there, and Lucas has absolutely thrown it around. So they are still side by side. I want to keep going up the front there because that is an absolute corker of a battle. Lucas Keys has managed to hold on to P1, but a superb effort from Brady Adderton to try and get that done around the outside of the first sector. He doesn't get it done, but a really strong showing from Brady. So Lucas Keys P1, Brady Adderton P2, and then a big pogo for Brady is going to see him come under pressure now from, I think, is that surely not Kranich? It is Rackman. Apologies to Kranich. I didn't mean that. But you know I love you. You wouldn't be up there in P3 though, Paul. I know. Anyway, it is Fadley Rackman, who I thought started from the back of the Porsche Cup cars. He's now up in P3. Now, it's not Aaron Yake in P1 either. Let's just bide our time here and wait for the ACC leaderboard to really sort itself out. We know that is Lucas Keys in P1, and everyone behind it, I've got no idea. It is Fadley Rackman in P2 in that silver Porsche Cup car, and it is Brady Adderton in P3. So it was actually Fadley Rackman who got that great start and challenged Lucas throughout the start of the first lap. But as I said, Lucas managing to hold on. Back here, there's Adam Yake in the back of the BMWs, and 2Fig now out of the pit lane and on his way to track down the BMW M2s for the first time. Lucas Keys straight out the box with the 34.3. Nice start from him. And Rackmat P2, Adderton P3 after lap 1.
Adderton might have had a spin or some collision on lap 1, being a few seconds behind the pack there. So interesting to see if we can maybe get a little bit of a report on that a little bit later. But again, very clean start. I thought maybe with the concertina effects through the first few chicanes, we might have had a few more incidents, but absolutely incredible to get through all those chicanes first lap.
The beautiful Albert Canal out there. That waterway out there is picturesque when you come up from the hopper. You don't get to see it in the car, by the way. It's a bit of a disappointment, but yeah, in the chopper shot, you get to see the Albert Canal out there. And obviously the windmills as well, very iconic for the Zolder track. Luke Johnson here. Nice. Oh, that's a massive chunk of the first chicane, and it seems to handle it pretty well, actually. He obviously got a bit of a bounce on, but he carried a lot of speed. So the BMW M2s just seem to be able to take a fair bit of that chicane. He's going to have a little crack down the inside of the second chicane. This is going to be a great move if he can pull it off. Great driving from both of them. A little touch there, but nothing doing. Oh, there's a good run here too from, I think, Ryan Anderson, who's now joined in this little party. And that's a great move from Luke Johnson down into the second chicane. And it is car 95 there being challenged very hard. Look at that hard livery. That's not a custom one. That's a hard livery there from, what is it? It is Ryan Anderson. Yeah, nice one. And being challenged again from Biggie, who's not done yet. Is he going to throw it down the inside of the last chicane? No, he's not. Thinks better of it. So, yeah, very nice move there from Luke Johnson mid-lap, and then an opportunistic little dive from Ryan Anderson. Sees all three of those guys swap positions.
Also see in the meantime there a rack mat with a purple lap time in there as well. So maybe closing down on Lucas Keys there after the tyres, obviously said before, come up to temperature. And we have a Porsche Cup Car in between all the M2s already.
That's Academy favourite Nate James, who must have had a little error early on and has now found himself buried in amongst the M2s here. So as we said before, the Porsche Cup's obviously clearly superior in terms of pace, but on this skinny little track, not a lot of overtaking opportunities. So he's going to have to get this done up in the first chicane. He has a look anyway, but doesn't get it done. No, he's going to have to wait and be patient. Oh, that's a big chunk of curb there from Biggie Hugs. Doesn't get it right, and he's going to give up one position at least to Nate James.
It's interesting, the BMW seem to be taking the first left-hand chicane quite hard and staying off the second one. So maybe they're just trying to feel their way through and see what they can get out of the speed off that turn there. Up the inside, no. Oh, here's Tilfik.
Yeah, Tufig's getting one done
here
there.
He comes.
Nice. He's not being patient. He's gonna now. So he's getting into a battle now with Nate James. So this is going to be car on car, Porsche on Porsche. And Nate James has seen Tufig in the mirror and said, "All right, I better get my ass into gear here." So he goes past Ryan Anderson. Tufig also down the inside of Ryan Anderson. These two here going to have to carve their way through the M2s very, very carefully. But now that the tyres have warmed up a little bit on these Porsche Cup cars, they'll have a little bit of extra grip, and the drivers themselves will have a little bit of extra confidence. Speaking of confidence, around the outside of turn one is a big balls play from Tufig. He's had a crack at it, and that gives him the inside line down into turn two. But Nate James just defending nicely there. Just got the car in all the right spots for now. Tufig, it looks like, just got a little bit of a touch on the rear quarter panel there of Nate James. Managed to keep it going on the straight and narrow, as did Nate. So no drama caused, but a little bit of a touch. Both of them on their way there past Luke Johnson.
It's got an update from YouTube chat. Nate James got hit in the rear turn one, put him to the back. That is absolutely incredible that we've got some YouTube updates for us to help us out. Here we go, trying to return to garage there, but no, back driving again.
No, I'm telling you, YouTube chat is always best on ground. They make us look good up here in the commentary booth.
It's going to carry us through this race, I reckon. It's going to be absolutely fantastic.
When I first started my commentary career, I came in here with 3 monitors, all sorts of different information, and I was trying my bloody hardest to bring all of the best stuff to YouTube chat. And I got here and I realised I don't need to, because they are the most knowledgeable listeners and viewers in the world when it comes to sim racing. So I just turn everything off now. I just let YouTube come at me with all the best information, and they bloody run the show. Oh dear, it looked like Tufig went a little deep there. Oh, hold on to it, Tufig. He's done pretty well. He's not going to spin, and he's going to keep it out of the wall, but that's going to cost him a bit of time. That was more of his own doing, really, because he came too deep into the last corner, and then to try and not kill himself, he had to really get on the anchors, which meant that Luke Johnson sort of just gave him a bit of a helping hand, and it wasn't any really Luke's fault. He got brake checked. So Tufig's just got to be a little bit more careful as he tries to fight his way through these M2s.
I think it was a few messy laps, or at least a few messy corners leading up to that mistake. So it was interesting. He's obviously pushing very hard, and as you said before, maybe just not on the got the rig set up where he feels very comfortable, and just that mistake happened. And yeah, lost him potentially 5 or 6 seconds. It wasn't massive. Obviously no contact with the wall, so he'll still be in it, trying to chase down. Oh, here's a replay from the start. Any contact? Nate James contact.
Oh, that's super unfortunate for Nate, who was just going through turn one, minding his own business, and there was a collision between 2 cars behind him.
How didn't he get collected from any BMWs coming through there? That was so lucky. Crispy bacon. Great play on words there.
Too far. That's excellent from you.
Fantastic.
Very nice, Steve. Well played. That's a 10 out of 10. Peach would love that one. I can hear him booing in the distance. But a boo from Peach is the ultimate accolade. So that's a win.
Yeah, we've got top pun so far. Top pun. That's a leader right there.
And Nyake we saw also at the back of the grid for the M2. So here's the replay of what happened to him. And yeah, he's just got one straight up the butt too from, it looks like that's Scott Rochford. If that is, he loves a purple livery, does Annie. If that is Scott Rochford who has hit him up the bum, he can get stuffed with his 9.99 safety rating in LFM because that's piss poor and he will be copping a 15-second penalty for that. We've obviously got no stewards here tonight, so there is no penalties, but he's got, it is Scott, come on, Annie. And he's gone and punted him straight up. That's no good. He'll be very disappointed in himself. If I know Annie, he'll be very disappointed in himself for that one. 9.99 safety rating in the bin.
He's not one of those drivers going to say he come over in front of him, is he?
No, definitely not. No. No, definitely not. He's
up the inside though. Moving forward. How good is this first sector in Zolder?
Oh,
touch on the bum as well. Good measure. I like it.
The thing is, if you take a compromise line in these BMW M2s, because they have such little power, if you take a compromised line, you can't sort of kick the throttle and get your way out of it. So you really lose a lot of momentum. So if the car that you've just overtaken has, you know, taken their normal line, you get that sort of action right there where, yes, you got the move done, but now you're going super slow and basically brake checking the car behind you. So you've got to be very cautious as the car getting overtaken, that you don't sort of go back up the butt of the person who just got past you. So they are very interesting to drive, these cars.
A lot of over-under passing, I think, is what's it's all about. You know, looking at the GT4 Cup on Thursday nights, it's been happening. This just finished not that long ago. It was exactly the same. A lot of over-under passing and making sure that we keep the doors clean, because that's what it's all about.
And he just got a stop-go penalty from the stewards. I think that'd be Diabols, who's the only person in the stewards box tonight. He's just gone and given him a stop-go for me. I appreciate that from you, and then cleared it immediately. So he sent a message, and Annie will be feeling that one.
Do we have Lucas Keys coming through M2s already?
Yep. Yes, we do.
It's been 10 minutes, which means, is this a possibility of having 2 times through an M2 field?
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and he's built up a nice little gap here too. So the quickest lap at the moment is a 29.5. He holds it. Speaking of hold it, he would have been holding his breath there as he got outside on that curb. Ryan Anderson just not quite getting turn 3 right, and taking a big chunk of sand in the BMW, which meant that he lost so much momentum, and Lucas having to absolutely wrestle that Porsche Cup car, not so that he didn't hit Dog Anderson, but also so that he didn't kill himself.
Just about to say that P2 and P3 were actually quite close together, but I think just with this traffic, you know, bit of breathing room there for Adderton, so maybe he can stretch this little bit of lead now there's nobody in his mirrors so close.
Well, before all that happened, before Lucas Keys found Ryan Anderson, it was actually Fadley Rackmat who was behind Lucas Keys. He was 5 seconds behind Lucas Keys. The front of Fadley's Porsche there, not looking particularly strong either. So that is a change for position since we spoke about Lucas Keys and Ryan Anderson there at turn 3. Adderton has gone past Rackmat, and I wonder if the damage on the front of Fadley's Porsche there has anything to do with it.
And the driver's side also. It's looking quite second-hand. Be interested to see if we can get some footage there as it comes up as the laps go on. But yeah, that's definitely interesting chain of events that's happened there. Still handling okay, it looks like.
Only halfway into this race, not even halfway into this race, and we are chock full of content already. So as these drivers get a little bit more confident and shake off a few of the cobwebs, because of course we haven't had the sprint series on for a bit. This is our first race in a while, so everyone's been chomping at the bit really to get back on track, and the first thing we make them do is get into a Porsche Cup Car with 0 TC and make them overtake some BMW M2s. We're not stuffing around, neither is Fadley Rackmat. Goodness gracious, just chucking it into the first chicane, and I'm telling you, the Porsche Cup suspension is the worst in the game. You think the GT3s have got it bad. These Porsche Cup cars are genuine pogo stilts in their suspension.
You're exactly right. I think, well, you're out of control at the moment, trying to get through these M2s. See if we can pull it back under control here a little bit. But no, I think you're exactly right. Everyone's kind of chomping at the bit, wanting to get back into some sim racing. And I know for myself and all the lads in the academy, looking forward to this next season. I think there's been some interesting formats being thrown at us this season. And what are you guys up for sprint series wise this year? Or this next season? What season? It's 21? 22. Incredible.
Oh, Lucas Key should be winning the sprint series then, because that's his number. So if he doesn't win this sprint series, he's washed. He can get in the bin. So there you go. That's my early call for the sprint series this season. Is Lucas Key's P1.
Can we also call out for a ducky livery? 22, two little ducks. I think it's all kind of lining up, so we get a bit of a special livery for that.
Well, he loves a special livery. So you go ahead and throw that idea at him. I'm sure he will pull it out of a hat. He loves putting in together a special livery. Not some of them not really my cup of tea, but no, he loves splashing a bit of colour. So you throw that idea at him, and I'm sure he'll put something together for you.
I think chat will get around that. I think that's going to be absolutely so funny to watch some ducks flying around some racetracks on what split night is he at the moment? I'm not too sure.
I don't know. So he's actually changed a couple of times. I don't know whether he just likes challenging himself with other drivers or whether it's actually a timing thing, but I don't think he's always sat in the same split. So, not sure what he's signed up for this season. And the same with the sprint series. I'm not racing in the sprint series this season, so I'll be watching along and might jump into the booth for some commentary and help out the stewards every now and then. But I won't be racing this season.
That sounds like to me you're going to be a private coach for us and the Pidgey boys in Academy this season.
Absolutely. I'll be there every Tuesday night helping you out. Don't worry about that. I'm very excited by your pace. I'm surprised you didn't sign up for the sprint series just quietly. As I said, your pace, especially out of all the Pidgey boys, is very, very strong. So I would have thought that you would have enjoyed the challenge of stepping up into the sprint series this season. But that's okay. Just take another year in the ACAD series and...
definitely. This will be my last 6 rounds of Academy. I think we're the few of us that will make the step up next series. I think we're just going to work on a little bit more racecraft and being confident. Here we go, replay.
This is Fairley Rackmat as he gets super sideways. This was when he was 5 seconds behind. So that's all that's happened there when Brady snuck on through that blue Porsche is Brady Adderton. So we were talking before, how did Adderton pass Rackmat? There is your answer.
I wonder where he also... Is it just the car get dirty potentially? That the car's looking very second-hand, but... Nothing.
Yeah, it could be just a bit of dirt.
I think so.
And, just showing up on the grey livery more than all the other ones, maybe.
Bright blue. Peter Adderton right here. Just hitting those marks. So lovely.
Little battle going on for P6. Breno, I think that's Breno Ellis. Back there in the, it might be Breno. Battling with Dylan McDowell. Dylan's just dropped off the back a little bit. It is Breno. Extremely fast. Yeah, he's a very fast Porsche driver too, is Breno Ellis.
Yeah, that's an interesting point for you. I wonder how many of these drivers are Porsche mains and does it actually cross over at all?
It definitely used to. The old Porsche was not necessarily exactly the same as a Porsche Cup car, but it had a lot more spiciness to it. The new Porsche is a lot easier to drive. Not that I'm a Porsche main myself, but I certainly couldn't handle the old Porsche, and then got into the new Porsche and found it was a much more stable platform. Whereas the Porsche Cup car, very spicy in its own right. So I think the old Porsche's skills would have transferred over very comfortably to the Porsche Cup car.
Breno Ellis got a sneaky team name there with Trampoline Park, with a bit of a shout out for Zolder.
I thought that. I did think that it had something to do with, it was a very good shout. Obviously, it's not a team name that you would find in any of the standard ACC livery, so he has gone and made that himself. So a very good shout from you.
That is a very good name. Very aptitude name for Zolder that I feel. Trampoline Park in the GT Cup car. That is exactly what these guys are battling all night, or at least for half an hour. Dylan McDowell, Porsche guys, they're a team in, that's a team name in the Zolder hour coming up.
They are the MRT 500 car headed by Damiano Thurcolini. Speaking of Porsche mains, he's my number one Porsche main, who's gone from being an AM class sort of pro-am driver in the last couple of years, absolutely shot up in pace, has Damiano here. So he's leading that team with Josh McLaughlin and Jack Miller also in the car. Now, I don't know whether Dylan McDowell is driving with them. He's certainly not on the entry list at the moment. But he is running a Porsche Guys livery, so maybe just going for a sneaky cameo, or perhaps just putting this on his resume saying, hey, guys, I'm here if you want me.
Hey, one way to get your name out there is do a good job tonight. I'm sure there'll be plenty of teams looking for some more people lining up. I knew there was a few teams out there looking for some extra people over the past couple of days, as obviously some calendar dates always clash, as life obviously throws those curveballs at us. But yeah, doing a good job here in P7, and again, hopefully trying to catch Breno Ellis in P6. JC, I was interested to chat to you a little bit about maybe some benefits or disadvantages with the 4-man, 3-man and 2-man roster coming up for the 8 hour, especially with dint times and those things. What you might be thinking about that?
Generally, I'd love 2 people for an 8 hour, but this is such an intensive track. Like, there's really no time to rest at this track. You're always switched on, not just because there's no big long straight, but because all of the corners have such little room for error. And of course, once you get into like that second and third hour, and you've got blue flag traffic and all that sort of, like, it's just going to be such a mind stuff trying to focus for your full stint. So as I said, usually I reckon 2 people is the perfect amount of people for an 8 hour. But for this one, probably 3 people. I think 4 people probably still too much. You're not really getting as much driving as you want out of the day. 3 people, I think, would be the spot-on number for a track like Zolder.
It's very interesting that you said that. You know, I was talking to Mr. Matt Madden, one of the Fiji boys that's usually helps us a lot with strategy, and talking to him about fuel consumption. It's very interesting, very congested here at the moment through an M2. Got to get out of the way, but well done, nice and clean. Yeah, talking to Mr. Madden that potentially splash and dash or trying to serve.
Brady Adam, that is, who's just had to get on the anchors real suddenly, has done bloody well not to absolutely 10-pin bowl everyone down there into the second chicane. And in fact, he's definitely got a track cut for that. There's no way that ACC has let him escape without a track cut. But I tell you what, he's also gained a very nice little advantage. He was under a lot of pressure from Fadley Rackmat coming up into that second chicane, and then once they've gone through it, they've lapped Nate James there. So he's put Nate James as a blue flag between himself and Fadley Rackmat. And Fadley there has P. Johnston, fruit bowl extraordinaire. He's got him right up there for company now. So this has turned into a bit of a really strong battle for P3.
If I ever get hit like that in Academy and get that lead on the guy behind me, sign me up for every time, because that was absolutely that's how I want to be passed every time. If I have to be hit every time if I need to get a collision. Give me a collision and gain 3 seconds. Yep, sign me up.
I'll tell you what this has done, Davo, with 8 minutes to go, this has really helped Lucas Keys stretch his legs. Passing traffic is a skill, and Lucas Keys now demonstrating that he's got that skill in spades, along with a lot of other bloody skills, by the way. He's a very talented individual, but passing traffic and doing so safe. Fadley's just chucking it into that first chicane. Goodness gracious, how has he not put that Porsche in a wall yet? That is unreal. He's properly airborne.
The big battle here for the spots on the podium. We've got 11-second lead, and then the next 3 all within 3 seconds. So let's see who can keep their head going through this traffic with 7 minutes to go, not making any more mistakes, and they'll see themselves on the box.
Wonder how many people are sitting on 3 track cuts too, by the way. This is a notorious track for drive-throughs for track limits. So, of course, this race only 45 minutes long, or half an hour. I can't even remember what. Time's been flying because we've been having fun. It's only a half-hour race. Here's your replay, Davo. Talk us what happened here.
Here we go. I think we've got some M2 traffic up ahead. And so Haddon just checks up and absolutely touched, but somehow keeps it under control and gets past an M2, as he said, but potentially with a track cut. And Nate James pulling over there as well for a blue flag. Well done.
Yeah, I didn't realise that he got a bit of help through there, Brady. I thought he'd just sort of missed his braking marker and then, as I said, cut the track and maybe picked up a track cut. I thought, that's a little bit cheeky, Brady. Maybe you should sort of back. But no, he got some help. So that's just an incredibly talented piece of driving there from Brady Adderton to not only dodge all of the M2s and not kill all of them, but then to hang on to the Porsche Cup car with 0 TC and make it around the next couple of corners in one piece. That's a very strong piece of driving from Brady Adderton.
I'm just loving how Sandy, that grey Porsche was over the curves in that first chicane, 2 laps in a row, no wheels on the ground, just all the wheels off the floor. We're just going straight over him, and we're sending it.
Yeah, Fadley doesn't give a fluff tonight. He's absolutely sending it, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, me too. I think it looks absolutely hilarious, but somehow just keeps it going straight and not losing any time, and it's just working for him. So why not just keep doing it? Let's go. This is P4 and P5 in M2. P4. Still going down. After 20 minutes, they find themselves again, still in the same piece of real estate.
This is Doug Ryan in the hard BMW M2 and being followed around by John Gormley, who we spoke about in qualifying. He had the fastest first 2 sectors of all the BMW M2s and then just absolutely butchered the last sector. So he's gone, oh my God, what a
here we
set.
go.
I tell you what, this is going to work out for him too. If he may have picked up a track cut for that because it looked like, even for the M2, that was a bit of an egregious cut, but he's
also
got away with
2,
it.
3, and 4 Porsche behind them as well, so this is going to hurt Brady.
But you can see what happened to his pace. Like, he just didn't have any momentum to finish off the move. So it was a big send and he got up alongside. But then in the car's compression, just trying to get the car settled again, he lost so much of his forward momentum. So Ryan got to hang on to that P4 in the BMW M class. But what a send from Gormley. As we said, very fast in the qualifying session with the first 2 sectors. So he's clearly got the pace.
Rackmat, big advantage through that traffic just then. Oh, we've got a car through the dirt. Oh my goodness. Another great save. There's 2 cars off in the dirt in the background. We wonder what happened there.
This last 4 minutes are properly chaos because now you're lapping M2s, but you're also lapping Porsche Cup cars. So there's blue flag Porsche Cup cars trying to pass M2s that they are obviously willing to, they're allowed to lap them because they're fast, but they've also got to give way to Porsche Cup cars. So you've got 2 different car classes on bloody 4 different laps. It's all happening, Davo.
Please stay with Fatty. I was about to go through my favourite chicane again. I was willing to see him if we had went through it, but no, it's okay. Because that fight is so close. But Gareth here, chasing down P5 again with a gaggle of M2s coming up in the tight second sector. Let's see how these 2 get through the chicane. Yet nice and clean. Oh, there's another car in the dirt behind us as we flash by. But M2s, yes, well done. Nicely
Porsche
clean
Cup car
through
number
there.
7, Tio. Tio is the second last Porsche Cup car. He found himself in the wall back there. I was hoping it wasn't Breno Ellis, but no, that's Breno up there on the 69, the grey Porsche, who's currently trying to get past Dog Ryan, who's just had all sorts of action on screen tonight. That hard livery has been on screen almost all night, so he's having a banger of a race, is Dog Ryan. Breno sneaking his way through.
Just no more Porsche Cup cars to DNF because we've got Tufik in P11. That is going to be the call of the night already. Come on, stay there, Porsche Cup guys. Just stay on
Red
track.
flag.
We've got a safety car. No, that's not.
Oh,
hold on, please.
Nice save from Gareth. Who the bloody hell's Gareth Rawpy, by the way? Hello to you, good sir. This is a new name that I haven't seen before. If there's anyone out there in chat who knows who Gareth Rawpy is, he's driving very bloody well here in the Porsche Cup race. Up there in P6. Whoa, who's that facing the wrong way? We've seen that Porsche Cup car facing the wrong way a few times already tonight, so that's unfortunate for them.
The picture here where we got Tufik. Oh no. Please don't tell me he's going to pass another Porsche Cup car. I need to stay 11th.
now that we put the camera on him, we're cursing the crap out of him. Something's going to happen here. He's going to spin, or someone's going to spin in front of him, or something's going to happen. I'm all for it. Leave that camera right there for the last minute and a half. I want to see Tufik bring home P11. Although, is that Tio that he's got in front of him? What's the gap between Tufik and the K? That is a 3/10 gap, so he's about to make that pass on Tio. Don't do it, Tufik. Don't do it to us.
Lock,
just
yes.
hold position.
Oh, well done. Come over and made sure he's trying to make squeeze him a little bit. Indecisiveness.
I'm a big Tio fan right now. I'm all about Tio holding on to that position, staying in the top 10 and keeping the door closed for Tufik.
Thank you. There you go. Rip is new to OOI's first race with us. Absolutely incredible. Get in there for a P6 in a community race. First race. Well done.
How about that? Stamp your name and say hello to OOI. When I work from Gareth, we'll put him in camera 2 and we'll come back over here to camera 1 where Tufik is absolutely breathing down the exhaust pipes of Tio. Oh, it's not Tio, actually. It's T. There's a T and a Tio. They had me confused. Apparently, it's T. Apparently, I'm so sorry. Car 64 is T. So, yeah, he's wearing him. And T's just holding the line here. He's got the car in all the right spots. His pace is pretty consistent. That looks like Lucas Keys.
Is that a Lucas Keys blue
yeah.
flag? No chance. Oh, T, don't worry about the blue flag, mate. Oh, we're
that
done. We're done.
Oh, no. Oh, no, that BMW is just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
No, stay there, BMW. Let's just bit of a...
Oh, T's going to get him back. Get up, T.
Come on.
Get up, son. Oh,
Big
Tufik's going to
break.
defend the inside. Nice work, Tufik. Holds on to his... Well, it's up to P9 now, so someone else has dropped off as well. I don't know whether it was Godfrey or whether he was back there already, but they've both jumped up to P9 and P10 respectively. So something's happened to one of the Porsche Cup cars. So we're going to be well off the mark here as the timer has run out.
Flag here,
and his T's gone around as Lucas Keys comes across the line and pinches P1 here.
Well done.
And that's a great performance. I told you you'd bugger off into the distance, and he's gone ahead and done it. He's P1 by a long, long way. Brady added him with some class driving. Goodness gracious, did we see some saves from this gentleman. And he's going to be P2. And Fadli Rakhmat he's put the goggles on and just sent it. The horse blinkers, the Superman cape, he's been up in the sky more than he's been on the road, Fadli Rakhmat, for P3.
Thought his rear wheel on the side mirrors. He was trying to send that to the moon every time, and loved every minute of it. It was fantastic.
Lucas
and
is,
of course, Bobby. Yep, well done.
Lucas has left the server. He's off to do qualifying, so now this timing board's going to go up the buggery. So we don't know where everyone's finished.
Sorry, Babs, but yes, M2 winner. Well done. Nice and clean race, I think, there from him more than anything. Obviously, some solid pace. As we said, hello in the sim world. But yeah, now I think all of us, as we were having fun watching this, knew in the background that, Zolder quality coming up, and really looking forward to seeing some solid times come out of the guys. I think the favourites are obviously going to be, the Lucas Keys of the world, but it's really interesting to see how some of the My Am teams in the Academy Series, if they can get up there and challenge some Pro Am, if not some silver times, because they've been putting some work in, and looking forward to that.
Yeah, I don't know. Where did Lucas qualify at Coda? Because he's very fast at Coda. He obviously didn't qualify because he wasn't even in the top 2 washed individuals. So where was he?
Did he qualify, or did his teammate qualify?
I don't know. I don't know.
I was doing some research and I didn't see his name pop up through qualifying. So I was thinking maybe his teammate qualified for Coda.
Well, I might have to go check that out and revisit that because I'll have to jog my memory a little bit about Coda. It was a great race at Coda. I really enjoyed it, apart from the fact we were driving the Mercedes. The Porsche Cup cars were led by Lucas Keys with Brady Adderton in P2, Fadli Rakhmat, as we discussed, was P3, and Pete Johnston P4, with Breno rounding out the top 5. And then over to the BMWs, it was Glory Babby coming home in P1, which was 15th overall. Luke Johnson with a couple of nice passes managed to sneak up in a P2, but was 12 seconds behind. So a very nice showing there from Glory. Managing to gap the field by 12 seconds is a very strong effort. And Zach Jensen on the podium as well, if you don't mind, in front of some very fast drivers. So, Biggie Hugs has just pulled out the pace boots a little bit here too, and maybe just really coming into his own in the BMW M2s. Ryan Doug Anderson was on screen all evening, and not by his own means. Sometimes it was just cars passing him or whatnot, but he was there. And John Gormley, some really strong pace in qualifying and a pretty good showing in the race as well. Right up Anderson's butt, less than a second away from P4 to P5. So a very entertaining start to the evening, Davo.
Absolutely incredible entertainment. I loved that race. It was, again, the speed difference between the Porsche and the M2 was just incredible to watch. I think maybe last year there was the Trio series that was running around with the M2 with GT2s and GT3s, and that was some interesting racing at the time then. And just to see the multi-class racing again, I think that really does provide another level of interest and something a bit different for OOR, and I think more and more of us want to get around it.
Yeah, multi-class is hard to run, but it's definitely the most fun if we can get it going. So I'm with you. I'd like to see more of it, but yeah, I understand that it's pretty hard to run, especially if you need to get it properly stewarded and whatnot. We're going to take a little break. We're going to go ahead and put the kettle on, put the kids to bed, get ready for some serious action now. The real stuff coming up for the Zolder 8-hour qualifying on the way.
Everyone seemed to let go of integrity and pride. And she's of a better deal. We sacrifice all ideals for a moment in the light. What can we do to make it right? A feeling I can't evade that rises when I'm afraid. Will we ever live again? There's so many things that should have been. Hesitation coming around again. Termination of all that we could have been. In a world where no one bothers, it is hard to believe in the truth and ignore the dreams of others with nothing to lose. Hesitation coming around again. Termination of all that we might have been. In a world of unbelievers, there is no way of getting across to a crowd of true receivers. I think I'm lost. Hesitation coming around again. Termination of all that we could have been.
And we're back. It is the Zolder 8-hour qualifying session coming at you. The big boys are out to play now. The belts have been tightened. The shirt's buttoned up. And into the real stuff we get stuck into. These GT3 cars will be showing us how to attack these corners at full velocity. And there'll be no piss farting around. The tyre warmers are on. These boys will be going quick. So strap yourselves in. Always fun to qualify at Zolder. It is such a good hot lap track, as we discussed. It's a fun racetrack, but not many passing over opportunities. But when it comes to qualifying, you'll see these guys really chucking it in there, Fadler Akmat style. And I'm expecting to see some really good times here. So the Pro-Ams out here with the AM class drivers first. The red badges and the black badges demonstrated at the moment. And then coming up after that, the silver class and the pro class will go. I don't think they're going side by side. So I think Glenn will correct me if I'm right. I think we've got the AM class and the Pro-Ams together first up. And then silver. I thought it would be silver and then pro, but if it's silver and then pro together, okay, it's silver and pro together on track. So just the two sessions together. And then, of course, after that, the top 10 shootout, the top 10 drivers of all classes. You would expect them to be of the pro and silver class, but we've had Pro-Ams sneak up in there before. But the top 10 shootout coming your way after all drivers have set their best laps. So let's get stuck into it. There's a 28-1 on the board up there in Pro-Am. I told you these Pro-Ams are quick. Goodness gracious. That's a very fast time. A 28-1 is very, very quick. So we're expecting sort of mid-27s to low 27s from your silvers and your pros. And some really very fast alien types will sneak into the very high 26s. Was watching Lucas Keys bang around in the Nissan doing very high 26s this week. So that's your golden goose though. That's like 58 at Bathurst type stuff. Real top 1% type times. So if we see one of those, we'll be very lucky tonight. But as I said, this 28-1 here is a very strong start from Darrell in the MRT Cowabunga car. These MRT liveries are absolutely gorgeous. Speaking of gorgeous, Cricky's gone and bloody broken his GPU. Have we got an update on that? Because he's our number one photographer, videographer. He does all our good stuff. Does Cricky with the graphics card breaking down midweek. I'm wondering if he's been able to fix that up and if he's going to be able to do the photos this week. Do we have any update on that, Glenn? Or Matt or anyone in chat? I'm not sure where that's at, but we chucked a couple of bucks at him, so hopefully we can get his graphics card up and running. Pete Chalmers currently rolling around in P2. It's a very nice time from him as well. Anyone there in the top 8 sort of sticking out to you, Davo? Who have you got your eyes on here in the pro and the Pro-Am and the AM class? This is sort of your area.
Yeah, look, I suppose I'm...
no disrespect there.
Familiar names, yeah. No, it's all good. I've got some familiar names, yeah. I've got, obviously, the Madden brothers out there doing... I think both Dan and Matt are both out there at the moment in the Pidgey Boys racing teams. Here we go. Got one right here. Look at this livery. I love that. This comes from a little go-kart thing that I do as my daily job, which I'm absolutely blessed to be a part of, Action Kart Shop, and run that. But... yeah, I also got Roy Ankin and a couple of other academy drivers that are doing some great lap times out there. So I know Matt's been trying to get into the lower to mid 28s and within the Aston, and I'm not too sure where Dan is at the moment. He's I know he's tuning. I know he's actually racing from Hawaii, so hopefully his ping's holding up nicely. But he was a little bit unsure about the Aston, because he's definitely a Ferrari main, and this is his first foray into another car in a while. So interested to see as Matty just drives off track there, and yep, that's going to be a return to garage.
I'll tell you what, he picked it up quickly, did Dan. He, as you said, he was a little bit dubious at the start about the Aston, but it didn't take him long to really warm up to it. And he started off with some 30s and then very quickly got into the 29s, and then was showing me that he's done a couple of 28s. So he'll be looking to repeat that tonight. He said if he can get himself into the high 28s, he'll be very happy. So that's what he'll be after. And from what I'm understanding, he's a bit of a clutch king. When you depend on him and you need him, he comes up with the goods. So let's see what he's got in him tonight.
with when it comes to golf, yes, maybe, but I'm not too sure about sim racing just yet. But Clarkey here with a 27.8, great lap time. And what I'm also interested to see is, I feel like this is quite a long quali session for a lot of these guys too. Used to a 10-minute quali, get out there, do your 4 laps and done. But maybe you can work a little bit of lap time and a bit of pace and work into a lap here as well, or at least have a couple of goes at it.
I don't think they get the full hour, so they'll be running sort of for the first 20 minutes, maybe half an hour.
20 minutes, correct, yes.
Yeah, so as you said, there's still a lot more than sort of 4 laps in it, but yeah, certainly not the full hour for anyone out there who's not across the way we run things here. So yeah, as we said, 20 minutes for these guys in the AM and Pro-Ams, and then the next 20 minutes after that will go to the Silvers and the Pros. But what are they feeding these bloody Pro-Ams? Did I see a mid-27 up there in P1 from Clarkey? That's ridiculous.
And just look how tight it is across the top 10 at the moment. All under a second. All these drivers can actually pull a little bit more lap time in that as well. So as this session keeps carrying on and the nerves drop off, I think everyone gets out there and be a little bit nervous the first 2 laps and they get settled in. I think these lap times will still continue to keep coming down and potentially keep getting closer and closer to some of those silvers and pro times and make it a little bit tighter as the 8-hour start comes around. Oh, had a little bit slide there for the Lamborghini as it's trying to get its foot down. Coming
Andrew
down to the hairpin.
In the ANZCRL car. ANZCRL are a long-time participant in all of our OR endurance races, so good to see them back here for another crack. I don't think I've seen them in the Lambo before, though, so that's an interesting choice here for Zolder.
Yeah, I think the Lambo's an interesting choice for most of OR, I would say. I don't see too many around, so mate, get in there, get stuck in, and give it a crack. I think the more cars you drive, I think that's what the sim racing world brings to it, a bit of fun, so that you can actually drive whatever car you want whenever you want.
Yeah, we've got the BOP to thank for that too. It used to be a bit of a one-horse show at some of the tracks that we went to before LFM brought their balance of power in, but now we get to see all the cars out there. And as you said, everyone just gets to pick and drive whatever the bloody hell they like, which is nice. Our favourite Lambo drivers in chat too tonight, Austin McNeil, hello to you. Law, he's out there working, unfortunately. He's not going to be qualifying tonight. And as I said, at Coda, as I said at the start of the stream, he put it on pole. Did Austin McNeil in the shootout, and then it was a very late, it was literally the last lap of the day from Amaral Name that pinched pole off of Austin McNeil. So yeah, he's our favourite Lambo driver, but yeah, not able to participate tonight. So I'm sure the MRT guys will be, I think they're car 700, yeah, Nippers will be qualifying. Oh, actually, did he say? Hang on, I'm going to go check that up, because Austin's definitely not qualifying. Neither car, okay, so the 700 car that started on the front grid are not qualifying tonight and are therefore starting from the back. No, well, they might be in the intro list, Glenn, but I'm telling you, I've got Austin in my ear. Austin's at work, he's not qualifying, and the only other person in that car is Nippers, and he's not driving. They can't make it, mate, I'm telling you. Are they driving around right now? Maybe it's just an entry list thing, because I'm getting it from the driver himself, who says that they're not qualifying tonight. So maybe well, I don't know, Glenn. I'm just rolling with the information I've got.
Let's put an asterisk on that one. They might not be starting. Here we go.
Hang on. Austin's in chat right now saying there may be hope. So maybe he got told by his teammate that he wouldn't be qualifying. But then he's now seen Nippers sitting in the pits and thinks, well, hang on, maybe I've got the wrong information. Maybe the 700 will qualify tonight. He's here, Austin says. Austin's got no idea what's going on. I'm getting information from him. He's got no idea.
We'll see them in the next segment of qualifying. Let's get back to these AM and Pro Am guys. I think I've been really impressed with some of the driving, but some limits being pushed here, and I think that's what qualifying is all about. Love that these guys are getting out there, pushing themselves to try and make sure that they start as far up the field as they possibly can.
I'm sorry, Glenn, I shouldn't doubt you.
Look at this car. I love this car. Anyone that wants to put a livery together that looks that good, well done.
I'll tell you who put that together. Mike Crick.
Mike Crick.
I'm telling you, mate.
Someone get him is a GPU that he needs?
Yeah.
Get around it. Let's get around it, OOR. Let's get this man on some livery designs again.
I was going to say he's underappreciated, but he's not. Like, everyone loves him and everyone lets him know how appreciative they are. So he's not underappreciated, but like, he's just, he just needs more. Just give him more appreciation. Why not? Just lay it off, because he does everything for OR in terms of the visuals. Everything you see, all our intros, all our photos, basically 60% of the liveries on this grid. All the best liveries too, by the way. I'm a little bit biased when I say that the Pixel Racers livery is the best on the grid, because it's obviously my team and that they're going to be out there again, and he does those liveries. And the MRT, my first racing team was MRT, and he's done those liveries, and he's done so many good liveries. Just he's the best. He's the best.
Sorry, I cannot agree with that. When my boys, PG Boys Racing out there, lovely blue, white, and pink. Sorry.
No,
I agree with that, JC, but we'll live and fight on another day, maybe on something else.
No, look, I'll tell you what, I was looking at some of Matt's work for the PG Racing team earlier on this week, and it's some very high quality stuff. So he might be just sort of saying, hey, hang on. I know Cricky runs the show around here, but what about me? He's just puffed his chest out a bit, as Matt Madden this week, and put on a very good show for the PG Racing team. Their liveries are quite nice.
But just over half a tenth of a second separates the top 8 at the moment. 3/10 up through the first chicane. We're going to stay on board here, 4/10 up, and see if we can actually pull this off and continue on this lap. I saw the last lap coming through was actually 7/10 up, but it was actually invalid. Here it is. This could be a lap that takes him 4/10 in front of everybody. So let's see how this lap ends on the board. Hitting the marks. Does he get good traction? Staying clean, I love this. Can he finish this lap off? Because I know this last turn, this last chicane can be quite tricky in getting a great exit. Sacrificed a little bit on the way in, but less good drive on the way out. Does this get pole at the moment? Shortcut to the line. Provisional pole. Well done.
What?
That is a crazy time.
Hang on. What is the temperature out there? What is going on?
Someone check the bop on that car.
How many friggin' wheat bix has this bloke had? I said we'd be struggling to get to 26s, like Lucas Keys would be the only one getting close. Daryl's just gone out and done a 27.2 in the Pro-Am class. Hang on.
Cowabunga, for sure.
Hang on. 6/10 quicker than anyone else on track right now. So you know that is a properly standout time. But honestly, as I said, like I don't expect many pros to beat that time, let alone any of these pro-ams.
That MRT must be with the biggest smile, knowing that they're probably going to start very high up in the order on the Zolder 8 hour, being a pro-am team.
I don't know how to pronounce his last name, and I don't want to have a go at it in case I'm called a racist. Callum Lloyd, Isaac Price Davies, Torindo Ananyake, and Daryl Ning. I'm scared.
I'm scared, me too. Yeah, but Daryl done an absolutely amazing job there. I think all the other boys owe a big round of beers for that, because I think their job on Sunday has either just gone a little bit more stressful, knowing that they're going to be carried, or a little bit more relaxed, knowing that they've got someone on their team that's going to pull out that lap time. We're still with a couple of minutes to go.
Callum Lloyd, Isaac Price Davies, and Torindo Ananyake. So there's some quality drivers in there, I give you the tip, but they're certainly not going to be doing that kind of pace. So the reason they're down there in Pro-Am is because they're not being, as I said, they're not going to be weighted down by those guys, but that's certainly going to average out across 8 hours. Now, how much do they put Daryl in the car, and how much do they clean Pro-Am by if he does sort of 60% of the driving is obviously to be questioned. But I mean, hats off to him. As I said, that's an incredible time. I don't care how fast you are. That's an incredible time.
It popped up in the Discord the other day. How many hours can you do as a 2-driver pairing? I think it was 6 hours. I think he's just been signed up for 6 hours of an 8-hour race. No. there you go. So 2.5 hours is the maximum stint time. So that leaves a good chunk for the other guys. Austin in the chat. I think the pro MIT teams are going to be struggling to beat that lap time. 100% agree with you there.
That's going to make the shootout. I'll say it now. That's going to make the shootout. As I said, I don't think many pros are going to beat that time. Let alone, like, you know, as I said, there'll be a couple of pros at the top who beat it. But that's going to be a shootout time. You will see Daryl in the shootout, ladies and gentlemen. So
again.
That's Matt Powell in the chat saying he was a late entry into that car, so their class may be reviewed. I think it probably bloody should. Oh,
Mate, look how close third through eighth is. Is that 0.3 of a second? It is. Come on, guys. You've got one lap. Got to close it out. Who can clutch up and pull their team as high as possible?
How's Davis gone out there and done a lap too, by the way? He's in the silver class, that car 5, the BMW. He might not have heard the story and he's gone out and chucked a lap down. So I don't think that'll count. Or maybe he won't be allowed to qualify now. He'll be penalised for that, but he obviously hasn't read the story, and so he shouldn't have done that lap. But as I said, Davo, that's very close between P2 and P9. No more than half a second. So yeah, very, very close between the Pro-Ams. And O'Brien there in the KA Motorsport car as well is very nicely perched up there from the AM class. But as we wind down now into what I believe is the last lap.
Sure.
Looks like these cars are now just winding up their laps as we come to finish off the AM and Pro-Am times. It looks like there's no one out there
valid now.
Currently valid. Remind me, Glenn, I haven't been here for a while. The stream can't hear you, can they? Thank Christ for that, because I'm bloody talking over you thinking that they can't hear you, which I thought was what we were supposed to do. And I know. No one out there can hear Glenn. So I'm just sitting here talking over him, and I couldn't remember whether. Here's Gibbo, here we go. The silver class is out. So that's it. AM class done.
Already out and rolling. Wow,
Pro-Am's
that's a fast changeover. They are not messing around.
Oh, it's very well race directed, I guarantee you. The stewards here are second to none, so they'll have called those guys out onto their out laps as the AM class and the Pro-Ams were finishing their laps. Runs like a smooth butter croissant does this series.
Bit of a Tron-looking car there with the blue and purple. Nice looking livery there from Gibbons. Well done. I like
told
that
ya, that's a Cricky special. That is the Pixel Racers Nissan. That is our boys. That's Callum Gibbons in the car. Jan Tully will be in chat. She's got her pom-poms on. That's her grandson out there rolling around in the Nissan.
Flick the lights on. That is a pro racing move right there. Quali, lights on. Get out of my way. I'm coming through.
Number 1 livery on the grid. These Nissans too will be bloody quick. The Nissan very strong through the first chicane. If you get the angle right, you'll see Lucas Keys chucking it straight through there. That's for sure. You saw Fadley Rackman at the Porsche Cup Car, how he's bouncing all over the joint. The Bentleys and the Nissans don't do that, so they'll have a nice time through the first chicane.
Aaron Lee tried to force me to drive the Nissan for the Silverstone Academy Series, and I did about 3 laps and put that on ice very quickly. That is definitely a difficult car to jump in and do it, but I'm sure these guys have had it many a year to master it, because some of these guys just are lightning in this car.
Great car. Number 1 car. Easily the best car in the game.
All right, Jamie, just because you're an alien and the rest of us are
the best sounding car, the best looking car.
Oh, even over the Porsche Cup Car. Wow, that is very cool.
Close. Great car. What a car.
28.5 out the gate. Good banker lap. Let's see how we can improve on this, because he didn't look that clean through the second chicane just there as well. Bumped a little bit and then was wide off the exit, so still some big time to be made in that second sector.
Yeah, it is a great car, but it's bloody hopeless on cold tyres, so you would expect him to be all over the joint. Oh, Jakey Mags here. brand new father. Well, I say brand new, it was a couple of months ago now, but he's just enjoying parenthood for the first time. Is J Mags here and out there in the Bentley. Good to see him back sim racing. And yeah, one of my favourite individuals. So watch for him to be very far. Oh, the 9 wide World of Sports Bentley. Hello. I like that one. Who put that together? That's a ripper. Yes.
Mate, it comes so close to at Kota. Someone had a Dick Johnson Racing Shell Helix livery. That was a great one. But I love a good classic retro livery.
Fucking what a tune. Oh, that's a great livery. Big fan. Yeah, the Shell Helix. That's the Smokestack Racing boys. Brad Cook. Well, Brad Cook is the synonymous name for that livery, but I believe they've changed drivers a couple of times. I think Shawnee Bubb now rolling around in that car for Coda. I think they won the race, if I remember correctly. Unless, as I said, no, because Shawnee Bubb now was running with Torben Messer, so they won the race. Smokestack was Chris Taylor and Brad Cook, and I think they didn't win. They finished somewhere in the top 10, though, because, yeah, it's very, very sharp livery, that Shell Helix Ford.
Hard luck there with exactly what I was thinking. More and more Bentleys coming on the grid at the moment through OOR. I've seen so many pop up, and watching the Sprint Series guys, there used to be one or two, but now there's just so many. So loving to see that car get a bit more love.
I told you Lucas loves a shit livery. That is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
That is disgusting.
I don't know whether that. So have we uploaded his livery? Is that a mistake? Or is that what he's pulled
What is
out?
on the roof?
Like, honestly, if there's sometimes the livery... No, because look at the thing on the roof. No, that's his livery.
Is that a head with wheels on a roof?
What is going on? If that's my son, if he's got a photo of my son and put that on his roof, I will shit a chicken. It looks like a potato on wheels.
Who knows?
I told you to be doing 26s, and here we are. We've got bloody 20 minutes to go, and he's pulled one out already. So, yeah, Lucas Keys and the Nissan is very strong, but we're 7777777. I wonder if he's going to do a 26777. That'd make me bloody happy. If you do that, you put the Q in the rack, surely.
Baby car, great. How is that allowed? If that's going to be on a winning podium in Cricky's wrap-up video of Zolder, that is the biggest offence that's going to be around.
Correct. That's the worst part about it, right, is that I don't mind meme liveries as long as they're somewhere in the middle of the grid and I don't have to look at them. But the fact that Lucas Keys is clearly the fastest driver we have and he's the one who pulls this crap out means that every time we try and do a promo and we put the P1 car up there, it looks like crap. Lucas, you dick. Put a good livery together, for God's sake.
I'm sticking by my two little ducks for the next Sprint Series, because I think that's going to be far superior than what he's pulled out for the Zolder 8 hour.
That's a good shout.
Also, your prediction of the MRT car still in P2. No one else is down there yet.
Yeah, and these guys have got their tyres warmed up now too. You can see how some of them have actually finished a few of their first hot laps and are now pulling it back into the pit lane, putting on some fresh boots and going again for the next 12 minutes. So we'll see a few of these times drop a little bit, but that time from Barrel is going to hold up. It'll be top 4 at least at the end of this session. But as you said, currently still sitting top 2. So this is a very interesting spot here too. So you've got Squirrels down here in P11. This is the fight for to get into the top 10 shootout. He's currently 3 thousandths off Skakluna in P10. He's got 3 tenths, now up to 4 tenths as he comes through the final chicane. Nice little drifterino there too as he finishes off this lap. So he'll sneak into the top 10 and put himself into the shootout provisionally with 12 minutes to go. But that'll be the battle to watch, is that battle down there for P9 and 10, because you would think Lucas Keys has got that wrapped up for P1. He could probably not do another lap again, and he's still going to be well clear of anyone else. Salvaggio, that's a very nice time from Salvaggio. No disrespect to him, but I didn't expect him to be putting it that far up and done exactly the same time. Literally never happens. Saxon Hayes, they have exactly the same time, both 518 thousandths of a second off pole. Literally never happens. 3 and 4 stuck together on the same time there, and the skill issue racing Nissan as well. So a couple of Nissans up there in the top 4, showing you how strong those front engine cars are.
I did a few laps around here, as I said, on Wednesday night in the McLaren, and I actually thought it handled the curves very well, so I'm interested to see how the McLaren stack up, but there is a lot of front engine drive, bigger cars. Maybe they just handle, oh, that is very unlucky there. On a great lap, just had to get out of the way.
Yeah, you
do
got
not want to cause a collision in qualifying and get a penalty. That is just going to hurt a lot.
You've got to be clever when you make your space in qualifying on these tight tracks, especially with so many cars out there at the moment, probably up to 20 cars in the Pro and Silver class combined. So you've got to find your space. And that, again, that's another skill. We talked about lapping cars before, how that's a skill. Qualifying and finding your own space is also a skill. And yeah, Saxon not quite getting it right there as he came up behind Dad Manor. We were talking about him in the Pidgey Racing team. They're up in the Silver class, and so yeah, down out there just minding his own business, trying to get his lap done. And Saxon not quite getting it right, and closing up behind him and having to abort that lap. So Squirrels has done well up there. Sorry, by the way, he's approved again up in a P2, so he's got a bit of pace in that Ford, doing some good things. And Toto here in another Nissan, so now 3 Nissans inside the top 6 vehicles. Toto running around 4/10 off the pace, and that's not going to help him, trying to get all sorts of sideways around there. It looks good, but it's not particularly quick, Nathan. So sort that shit out, and yeah, he's going to pull it over and put some fresh boots on and go again, I think.
That's just standard Nissan behaviour, isn't it? The tail wagging. I think that's what they do to go fast. You got to keep them loose, keep them going on the throttle. And if somehow it goes straight, then you're going to be up the pointy end. If not, you're going to be somewhere down the back. But that's exactly what the Nissan's about, I feel like.
Contrary to popular belief, it's actually not very fast. It looks good and we have a lot of fun doing it, but gee, we actually don't want to do it because it's not fast. It's not the way to go.
The Thermal Take Series. There we go. Thermal Take Sprint Series starts 23rd of July. Come on, Glenn, we need an Academy series like that. That's absolutely incredible. Nice little infographic comes across the screen there. But yeah, go the Sprint Series, 23rd of July, next Wednesday? Or is that Tuesday? Yeah, it's going to be next Wednesday, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, week from today. Oh, no, an extra week. Okay, an extra week on that. Copy that. But yeah, 23rd of July. Make sure everyone's signed up online. And get your time sorted, because it's practice time, and I think Sprint Series is only getting better and better as us Academy drivers keep coming up. So, and our pace is going to be stronger and stronger. So get ready for that coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Hats off to Thermal Take too, by the way. A brand new naming rights sponsor of the Sprint Series and the Endurance Series. They've come on board. Simrigs, of course, still working with us as well. But Thermal Take have come on board and have chucked up a first prize of a G8 direct drive racing wheel with pedals bundle, by the way. So if you want to get involved in the Sprint Series and you think you're bloody good enough, get up there in first place and take home a brand new set of sim wheels and rigs and stuff, if you don't mind. That's a very nice little piece of kit. And second and third prize also getting a brand new computer tower chassis. I don't know whether you've got a BYO computer, obviously, but you can put that in there. Nice new racing green chassis, and that's going to look very nice sitting on your desk. And then everybody in the draw every week to take home a brand new gaming mouse, also by Thermal Take. So those guys just throwing prizes at us, if you don't mind. Thank you very much to those guys jumping on board.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. I think it means a lot to all of us in the OOR community, and yeah, we'll only ever try to keep putting on some great races for some live streams and get around it. I think there was some good viewership last season, and we'll continue to do that on the YouTube side. But look how close this is. I love this from all the sprint guys. They've all done their homework. They've done plenty of laps. They're all maximising their lap times, as we got just under 7 minutes remaining in this session, and still some green lap times coming through. And let's see how high some of these guys can get and get close to the top.
Yeah, that gap between sort of P6 right through to P12 is not much at all. So that battle for the final shootout spot will go right down to the wire. These guys up here inside the top 4 Probably pretty safe, you would suggest, but anyone below that is fair game. Is that another Nissan? Hello, that's Lee up there as well
Yes,
in the
apparently
Rockets Evolved
My
Nissan.
Duo, Academy Duos partner was very good in helping me get through that. But yes, he was super excited to get in the Nissan for this weekend.
Yeah, he does love his Nissan, does Diggle. He's currently P4 at the moment with a nice little delta here in the first sector as he chucks it through the first chicane. And I'm telling you, it looks good, but it's not the way to go. You can see how much time he pissed up the wall there. He's now 3/10 down as he heads down into the second chicane. So whilst it is... It's just what we used to do, and a lot of these guys still trying to kick the muscle memory out of how we used to attack this track, because that first chicane was just a straight line, and now, as you said, even in the Nissan, it's not. So it's just it's a little disappointing. It's a little sad, honestly, because it used to be so fun to just throw it through that first chicane. You can see what happens when you do now.
We're interested to see if Lucas Keys and the guys at the front are now starting to plan to try and do a bit of one-lap dash preparation, because they've got a little bit of a gap between the front of the top 10 and the back of the top 10. Is it worth them actually getting out there and just trying to get ready to do one lap and practice for that top 10 shootout? I think there might be a bit of value in that.
Well, Lucas Key certainly thinks you're spot on, because he's out there still going, and he certainly doesn't need to be putting any further times down, because he's well and truly ensconced in the 26s now, so no one's displacing him. But yeah, as you said, might be just out there getting his pressures right for that one lap throwdown. Well, it is 2 laps. Unless it's changed, it'll be 2 laps. He's got your first hot lap, and then that second lap when the tyres are all nice and warmed up is the one you really want to send it on. But yeah, the point is he's probably just out there pumping up those pressures and getting prepared.
Just went invalid. But yep, nice little Nissan tail wag again. I'll keep saying that while I still see it. But that's how they got it. That's how they get him round. Name, here we go. Can he solidify himself? He's still a 10th and a half, couple of tenths just inside the top 10 there. But currently 3/10 up, slightly down as it goes through the next sector. As he goes through the second chicane. Does he keep it nice and smooth? Good exit there. Definitely sacrificed a lot on the entry. He almost lost 2.5 tenths on the entry.
Just want to point out this man here, Amaral Name, in the HP NT Motorsports Ferrari was P1, literally P1 in the shootout at Coda in the Ferrari. So you know that he's a very fast boy.
And the same livery, I believe, too.
Currently down here in P9. So to anyone out there who said, you know what, let's take the Ferrari because we're Ferrari mains and it's a great car, go and get stuffed. I told you it was crap. This man's displaying exactly why. It's just no good here. And I'm glad you all came around to the idea of driving something else, because it would have been a horrible 8 hours trying to wrestle this bloody thing around.
The vacuum cleaner Ferrari, yes, definitely provides a little bit of confidence, but may not be the fastest thing at the moment.
Very good at Silverstone. Oh, if you want to go to Silverstone, I'll take the Ferrari every day of the week.
Go the Bentley. 3/10 up. P10. Good cookie. Cookie is cooking.
Sticks it inside the top 10 with 2 minutes to go. And that's usually a Shell Helix Bentley, but you can tell that one's not quite through the livery box successfully. So it's just not quite got it right. No. They've changed cars. They were in the Ford, so that used to be a Shell Helix Ford. And now it's a Hell Helix Bentley. It's just not quite been spat out the other end in the right fashion, but you can tell what they were going for. Yeah, look, knowing Cookie, who I have to remind to do his bloody footy tips every week, he probably has forgotten to put the bloody livery in. So that's exactly what's happened there.
Just exit stage right. Yep, return to garage. I think he might be done for this session. Well, 2 minutes to go. Can he get out and get a lap done? That's... Don't think it's possible for that. Pick purple Ford. That's definitely not the generic colour for a Ford, but looking absolutely fantastic. Nice and clean livery. I love when you can just see exactly what team it is. No frills, and there's absolutely... I love the shimmer too. Good colour.
Good shout from you. Squirrels is a donkey, but he's got that livery right. Credit to them and their team. So I'm spot on. I'm like you. I love a clean livery. I love a nice professional-looking, sharp little number, and that Team Iris livery is very nice.
Nothing ever faster than 2 racing stripes down the middle. Classic.
Tell you what, Toto's gone and put it in P2, by the way. So that's a nice little lap there from Nathan Monks, who's just showing the rest of the field what the Nissan's capable of. 4 Nissans inside the top 6. Is that right? Yeah, if there's a Ford and a BMW splitting them. So 4 Nissans, the superior vehicle. Currently 4 out of the top 6 spots here at Zolder. That's going the wrong way. That Porsche was, where was he going?
Another exit stage right, yep.
Oh yeah, it was very dangerous for anyone sitting in the crowd there. That was...
Trying to find who said it in chat before, but very Japanese-looking top 10. Try and get a little shout out if we can.
20 seconds to go.
This lady with a very Japanese top 10.
Saxon here, just a little bit nervous in the last chicane, so he's lost a bit of that time. He had about 2/10 on the board, and he's just...
Going to get another lap, though.
Oh, he has, yeah, 7 seconds to go. No, he's got no fuel!
Oh, no.
That's all right. He's inside the top 10, so we'll see him in the shootout. But down here...
In the 8th, so he's still safe at the moment. Anyone outside the top 10 on a flyer.
Down there, who's that in P12 in that Bentley? They look like they're still on a lap. Nice work from Herbert, comes across the line, doesn't improve, but is in the he's in there. It was Hignett in the Bentley, and he's in the pits, so that's not going to be it. And here's Shane Weru. I'm sorry, Shane. I've never been able to pronounce your bloody last name, and I'm sure everyone else butchers it too. But the McLaren here, really,
is that a Team Kiwi Racing livery from old school V8 supercars?
It probably is. Those fellas.
Is that a Jason Richards shout out? Is that a car that he ran back in the day?
Very astute observation from you, Davo. Nice one. Well, Toto's gone and improved there too with a 27.1 right at the end, so really didn't need to, but he's just gone and flexed his muscle a little bit in the tented Motorsports Nissan. And I think that's your top 10 settled by the look of it, because Salvaggio's already inside the top 10 as well, so he doesn't need to go anywhere. And back there, the 676, the last car on track, still on a valid lap. They are greyed out, but that might be it. I don't know whether they started their lap before the marker, because we saw the last car come across the line. So we'll just see 676 come across the line now. No surprises. Does Bartlett sneak in anywhere? No, he's pulled over, so that's it. That's it, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, lap of a lifetime, Austin said. Well done. That is... Let's go and see it again, I think. What I'd love to see right now is the difference between their quali time and their 2-lap time. I think that's where it's going to be made or broken right now. Is the difference between, can you put a mid to low 27 in again? Yeah,
absolutely. And can Lucas, cement his place at the front of the grid with a very low 27 or even a 26? The Nissan is pretty good at getting its tyres up to temperature, but it's not very good when they're not there. So it just jumps up in pace very quickly. So if they can get them, warmed up on the outlap and not bully the crap out of them by cutting too many curbs and getting pressure loss on those first lap or two, he'll do very well. I think it'll be hard to beat Lucas Keys.
I think it should be every 10th behind a 126.8 is one position he gets penalised. I think.
I think you just starting from the back, stuff it.
He does that every time I feel like I see him. He's starting from the back in whatever community race he's trying to do.
That gap there between sort of P3 and P10 is no more than 0.3. It is absolutely stacked inside that top 10. So whilst Cook currently sits in P10 in that Bentley, and whilst Darrell and Squirrels and Monks will be feeling comfortable with their times, that top 10 will swap all sorts of... That is going to be an absolute baller of a top 10 shootout here, just based on how close those times are. So as I said, I think Lucas Keys probably comfortably going into the shootout. He's nearly 4/10 clear at the top there, but everyone else is absolutely fair game. So
This is the best part of the night. Everyone
sure.
gets your tea, coffee, whatever you want, sit back, and let's watch these guys absolutely put on a show for us, because I'm excited. This is what I've been actually waiting for all night. We might have got through the community race, and that was a lot of fun, and the seriousness stepped up a little bit in that qualifying session, but this is what it's all about. One car on track, everybody watching you. Go and put on a show for us, guys, because this is absolutely crazy.
Speaking of tea, my lovely wife's gone made me one here. What have I got here? What's orange and cinnamon? Oh, delicious. Hello, I'm in here. This is my favourite one, actually, orange and cinnamon. I've got a very large selection of teas. I've got a war chest of tea, one might say. And
if you're talking about that, you've got to put a photo of that on the Octane Racing chat in Discord, because you can't be floating that around. That sounds way too exotic.
No, I can do that. Absolutely. I'll show you my tea collection. Don't you worry about that.
We need a bit of tea chat.
Oh, it's being reported in my ear that my 9-year-old daughter actually chose my tea tonight, so that's why she's my favourite. She's gone and got the best one. That's
good choice.
All the other kids are in bed, so I can call her my favourite. That's fine. That's good. Oh boy, what do we got, Glenn? How long we got before the changeover here? Are they just going to come straight back out for this last 15 minutes? Oh yes, we're getting straight into it.
Also got a shout out from Austin saying that the photo on top of Lucas Key's cars is of the baby convertible. So if anyone want to go research that online, go do that. But yes, it's not any of your children, Mr. JC, so you can have a bit of a sigh of relief with that.
Yeah, what is it? You showed me. You sent me what it is.
Yeah, essentially, mate, I have no idea. Someone in chat get around it, because I'm too old for that anyway. So I'm not getting on that. Is it some rapper or basketball player or something? It's like a stretched res bloody. It's. I don't know what he's doing. I hate it. Lukey with a peppermint tea. Mate, that is got some nasal issues, do we, at the moment? I'm just getting ready for bed.
Peppermint tea is top tier. That is absolutely A+ stuff from you, Luke Johnson. Big fan.
Are we going loose leaf or are we going tea bag? That's what I want to see. I want to see in chat if we like the loose leaf or we just go on the Earl Grey Dunker tea bag.
I've got plenty of tea bags, but I've also got plenty of strainers and loose leaves and stuff as well. So it's just about how much effort I want to put in. But generally, I go with just a bag if it's just something simple coming out of the kettle. But I've got huge big teapots too. So, yeah, I do a lot of loose leaf action. Any chance we can get the full qualifying leaderboard up, or are we just, because the session hasn't ended, we're kind of stuck with what we've got here? Glenn, here's my question to you. Because I'd like to just go through the rest of the field and see where everyone shaked out. So that's fine. We'll do that at the end of this session. See where the Pidgey boys landed, Davo. We'll have a look at some of our regular OOR teams and see where they pulled in, where they shaked out. So we'll do that at the end of the session. We'll get prepared for this one here. We've got 10 drivers. We've still got 11 drivers on server at the moment, so somebody hasn't buggered off. I don't know whether it's Clarkey who's just not quite got the memo and has to sneak out. But he's just going to hang around and watch. You know what? He's on track. You know what? He's out there doing burnouts. It says he's on track. I'm all for it, Clarkey. Get out there. Good man.
Interesting to see, as this order's on the screen there, if it shakes up at all between practice and quali and the top 10 shootout. But if we can get a little quick livery scan over, if that's possible, that would be really great to just give a bit of love, because
what have we got here? Skill
issues. If we just flick through some cars, I think we can see some liveries.
Herbert's in the 8 laps down by KA. So that's a KA Motorsports car, that number 8 Aston. 777 is obviously the 777777 boys, and we've talked about that livery and how garbage it is. 153 is Tented Motorsports. That's a nice clean livery. I think you'll like that one's a baby blue sort of number there from the 153 Nissan. We spoke about Squirrels and the Iris purple shop one. That's a nice one. Daryl in the 100 MRT. That's the red and white number. That's a nice one. Lee here is literally on screen, so we can see that one. And again, that's a nice clean livery here from I think that's Rockets Evolved. Hayes is in that green number that you can see there. So we can see the back end of Hayes and the skill-issued racing Nissan, the 888 car. Salvaggio 223, I think, is Three Pyramids Racing. And I can't remember what their livery. Actually, it's a black number with like a nice orange stripe. There it is there, that one right there.
He's cooking for us right now.
So that's your Three Pyramids Racing Mercedes with Ramez, Samuel, and Salvaggio in that one.
I like the pinstriping along the bottom. Nice little touch there.
It's a very nice livery, yeah. Yep.
Baby blue and white, classic combo.
So this is the Tended Motorsports Nissan of Nathan Monks. Toto is driving with Tim Goeb, who commentated the Kota top 10 shootout. The nice little touch of, I think that's Toto's dog there on the rear wing. So
yes, yep.
Do it for her. That's obviously a Simpsons reference there as well. If anyone's watched The Simpsons, you'll understand that one. What else have we got up here? Hopefully none of these cars have overlaps. Obviously, sometimes we get the cars overlapping each other, but it looks like this is just a normal livery from car 8. This is her. Oh, yeah, this is her, but the 8 laps down by KA Motorsport car. So, yeah, this one hasn't quite spat out right, as you can see. The idea is there, but Chris was in chat before saying that it was up to him to submit the livery, and he didn't do it in time. So, Chris Taylor letting the Shell Helix boys down. And, yeah, obviously these MRT liveries have always been a winner in all of our endurance races. Those MRT liveries show up and knock the house down. So,
oh, no, Toto.
no, Toto. There you go. That's why the doggos.
T's and P's.
Absolutely, mate. Sorry to hear that.
What I will mention is the only manufacturer that's missed out on a top 10 is a Macca. Is that right? We've got 4 Nissans.
There's no Porsche.
1 Beamer, 1 Ford. No Porsche, yes.
There's no Lambo.
Well, there's only 1 Lambo on the entire field, isn't there?
I'm just answering your question. BMW's up there, Aston's up there, Bentley's up there, Lambo, McLaren, Ferrari, Audi. There's no Audi either. Righto, let's go. We're on our way. We're on track. The session has switched over. The race director has called out our first driver. It is the upside down whoopsie daisy Shell Helix Bentley of Chris Taylor and the Smokestack boys. So Chris will get us underway. Another one doing the Grand Belgian Tour. So he'll be doing 8 hours of Belgian. This is a 2-man team, Chris Taylor and Brad Cook running this one together. And then, as I said, Chris Taylor in my team is going to be doing the Spa 24 hour. We're going to be doing it together. So a big, big weekend ahead for Chris Taylor and friends. So let's see. Oh, they've changed names. So they're actually Thunderstack. It used to be Smokestack, but now it's Thunderstack because they're in the Thunderdome Discord, of course. So the Thunderdome fellas also rolling around in the Zolder 8 hour. I think Ben Hignett qualified in P13, if I remember correctly. So the Thunderdome car will be starting from P13, and the Thunderstack car currently on track now, being driven by Chris Taylor. So a nice turn one there, rolled around very nicely and very tidy. You would expect him to be very tidy on this first lap here, not pushing the limits. And I know Chris is he's a very fast driver, but he's certainly not what I would call aggressive. He's a very conservative, consistent driver. Doesn't make too many mistakes. So, especially on this first out lap here, you won't see him sort of fadly rack-matting it through this first chicane here. Well, you can see he is, but look how well the Bentley handles the ups and downs of that first chicane. It's just going to gain so much time on its competitors being able to do that through the first chicane. And of course, every car can do that through the second chicane. So that cut, very necessary for a good lap time. But whilst the Bentley might not be particularly aerodynamically strong, it's just going to gain a free 10th, being able to go through that first chicane so aggressively. So a nice line through there and through the middle sector for Chris so far. And as we come up now into the final chicane, this has looked a very nice lap. As I said, certainly nothing aggressive. He hasn't missed any brake markers. Doesn't look like he's got the car performing very nastily. Its behaviour's been very solid, so this would be a pretty good time. I would suggest a 28.0 is a very nice start, a very nice bank. It's almost into the 27s immediately. But now, oh, hello. We've gone and flipped the cameras around a bit. No, we're back. That's all good. It's actually Cookie. No, I've been lied to. So it is actually Brad Cook. It said Chris Taylor the whole way around the first lap. And no, it's actually Brad Cook. Chris Taylor's teammate. So it is Brad Cook in the car. Brad, I would suggest is not necessarily the polar opposite, but he is more of an aggressive driver. He loves battle. He loves getting his elbows out. He loves driving the car to its limits. Look at the Bentley through that first chicane. That's gorgeous. That takes me back. That's what every car used to be able to do. And yeah, as I said, just a little bit sad now that we don't all have that sort of permission, but the Bentley seems to be just very happy to traverse through there in an aggressive fashion. And again, through the second chicane there, a nice line. So a nice little lap developing here for Brad Cook. 2/10 up as we head down into the Boulderberg hairpin. And he's going to get deep on the brakes. A bit of an early turn in there, which nets him some time. And he's managed to keep it on exit too. The Bentley squatting and the rear's compressing as he gets out of the hairpin there with a very nice little bit of green delta. So almost half a second up now and still building as the tyres grip up and get warm. He's just lost a little bit. You can see the hands cross over a little bit there on the exit of the last chicane. So whilst there was a lot of time gained, it could have been a little bit better there for Brad Cook, but still a very handy lap of a 27.7. So the first to come round and complete us. So Tim Purcell now. Well, I mean, Davo, you'll take us away here. I think this is Tim Purcell, but I don't want to leave you hanging because it could be bloody anyone based on AECC's timing tower.
It is Admiral name, actually. Just, again, the OCC leaderboard leading us all astray again. But yeah, Cookie there with an absolute great second lap. But yeah, Admiral name coming up to start his first flying lap, getting a nice wide exit onto the main straight. I like this. Maximising the first lap, just to make sure you don't have to push as hard the second lap. Try and get a good banker in and maximise what you can while you can. Braking to turn one. Lovely and smooth. Don't go too wide. Yes, bring it over to turn two. Looking a little bit conservative at the moment, if I must say so myself, but I think it must be the way he's going about this this run at the moment. And again, leading up to this first chicane, let's see how the car settles and goes through these curbs, because I think it seems to be a bit of a point that's make or break for these mid-engine cars. Pogo over the curbs, there they go. Didn't look too bad though. So it'll be interesting to see if he makes time up there on lap 2 or not. Maximising the exit speed through this last turn, coming out these last few turns, trying to come down into the sector where the Ferrari's probably going to be its strongest, through the high aero stage and into the hairpin. A little bit of push through, a little bit of understeer turning in. I wonder if it's going to be a faster banker lap. Cookie did a 28 flat as a banker lap the first time through. And Admiral name coming to the line for his first banker lap. 27.9. Wow, that is very good as a banker lap. I thought it might have been a little bit conservative, but it's only 2 to 3 tenths off his qualifying time, I believe. And it's just so smooth. Like this looks like it's on rails at the moment. So really looking to try and maximise his second lap here. And we're coming up to that first chicane again, and just over a tenth up. See if he can get that good drive off this bouncy curb. Takes a lot more of that first one, but gaining time. There it is. That's what I thought. I thought he might have been a little bit conservative the first time. Maximising it this time. Coming down into the second chicane. Good drive out. Much better, much better. Oh, almost half a second up on his second lap. Looking to try and get in those low 127s. Let's see how the car turns into the hairpin this time. better apex point that time, and look at a drive out of the corner this time. Here we go. Can he hold it together and get provisional pole? I know it's only the second driver in, but it can definitely put some pressure on the following guys behind him. Coming up to the line, 7/10 up. Can he close it out? Shortcut to the line. And it's going to be a 27.3. Incredible lap time. They're in a 2-lap dash, essentially.
That's a great time from Amaral. That's the kind of time I expected to see from Amaral Name in that first qualifying session. So I don't know how much practice he's had during the week, but he really seems to have warmed up as he's gone along in tonight's qualifying, because that's a banger of a lap there, a 27.3 from Amaral Name. So you generally only see sort of like a tenth or two as each driver comes out one after the other, but that nearly 4/10 gap between Cook and Name, that sort of suggests to me that time there from Amaral will hold up pretty well as sort of Regan Herbert now and a few others come through. I think they'll be struggling to beat that time from Amaral, but we'll see how we go. The temps did suggest that it's going to be a very quick server. I think it was sort of as low as 18 at the end of the last qualifying session. The ambient temperature was 18 and the track temp was just a balmy 30. So a really good sort of set of server settings here for some really nice lap times. So whilst that 27 might look very good at the moment, we'll have to see whether a lot of these guys can just really improve on their first qualifying session. As I said, I don't know what the temps are like at the moment. Herbert taking a pretty conservative line there, you saw through the first chicane, so that's more what I expected to see from the Aston and the Ferrari and anything that wasn't really the Bentley or the Nissan. So Amaral very aggressive through there, seemed to make it work, and they've got that Ferrari set up pretty bloody nicely. But that Aston, as I said, Regan's really avoiding the curbs altogether and shooting through the middle of the chicane. So we'll have to see if that's his play on his second lap, or if he's just warming up the tyres, or if that's actually the line he intends to take going forward. But this first lap here has looked pretty tidy. I don't know if it's been as quick as Name's outlap, but we'll see. It was a 28.0 for Cook and a 27.9 for Name. It is a 28.0 as well for Regan Herbert. So basically bang on with Cook, going bang for bang on their first flyers. So now let's see where he can pick up some green Delta. Green Delta is like crack, and everybody wants to go get some, and it's hard not to watch it. I know a lot of drivers turn off their Delta because it's just bloody hard not to watch the corner of your screen as you're screaming around these corners, and you don't want that distraction. So a lot of them just turn it off. For me personally, I love it. I love seeing that green Delta. Just, it's very juicy. I get a little bit scratchy for it. I'm all for it, and he's got none of it at the moment. Again, very conservative through this chicane, so that's the play for Herbert. He has gained some time, so he was a little bit more aggressive on the throttle through there, but still, as you can see, not using any of the sausages at all. And very aggressive through the second. That line's very close to an invalidation. That's about as close as you can get, I would suggest, to invalidating. Just a little tickle of the grass there on exit 2 on the way down to the hairpin. He's cost him a little bit of momentum, but still up a 10th. And then a nice deep run into this hairpin, and then a little bit late on the throttle has cost him on the way out. So again, there's some time in this lap from Regan. I expect his race pace to be pretty strong. He's usually very, very fast. Here's our man Regan Herbert. That's a good last chicane. Nice on the way in. Not a bad little exit either. Oh, excuse me, I've lost a little bit there as we've gone through, and 4/10 off. Didn't really improve as much as he would have wanted. Oh, excuse me, on that second lap. So Regan Herbert currently P3, 4/10 off. Name's 27.3 will hold up for at least one more driver.
Vagio next, I believe.
Are they in order, Glenn? I'll tell you, spoil us, Glenn.
Yeah, I was going to say, the names on the side is great.
What have we done to deserve you, Glenn? You've literally just gone and done our job for us. Look at that. So you're going to have Salvaggio coming out now in the Pyramids Racing Mercedes, and then Hayes, Lee, Darrell, Squirrels, Monks, and Keys. They're all going to come one after the other in order. Thanks very much, Glenn.
I mean, what I will say, JC, is now is not the time to be conservative. You're already in the 10. Like, let's go. I want to see pushing the limit. I want to see these cars over the curbs. I want to see every last rubber piece flying off the car. I want to make sure these are maximized lap times. We are all get a chance to watch you for 4 minutes around this lap. Let's make the most of it. I love seeing these cars flying over the curbs. That's what makes this exciting, is the guys pushing the absolute limits of their cars. That's the way. I love that. That is what sim racing's all about. We don't get a chance to do this in real life, guys, because I think the mechanics would be pretty angry with us if we did that every time. But in sim racing, we can always get to push the limits, and let's keep on doing it. This banker lap's looking absolutely on raggedy edge, but still staying within the white lines, I believe, at the moment.
It's an interesting point you make.
We're not craving the green delta at the moment, but I'm sure as soon as the second lap pops up, we'll get to do that again.
Yeah, the point you made about throwing it in during the shootout, like you're already in the top 10, a lot of the drivers have that kind of attitude where they'll throw it around, but a lot of others are a bit more conservative. They don't want to invalidate that second lap, and especially on a track like this where overtakes will be at a premium. They want to make sure that at least they do put a lap on the board. To start from 10th is, not necessarily a good thing for some of these drivers who think that, any position that they can gain in qualifying is more important than the ultimate lap time. So I think you'll see, as I said, Lucas Keys and a few of these other boys will be really throwing it in there. But a couple of the others might just be a bit more conservative, trying not to invalidate. You saw there Salvaggio getting all sorts of loose around turn 3, a little bit of a tail end flick as he came around there. So he's, as you said, a little bit squirrely at the moment.
The 3/10 up coming through the first chicane there. He's getting a little bit more time as this lap continues on. And again, just that more aggressive line. They're just getting more and more time out of it. Every single car that we've seen that's been more aggressive over these chicanes, they're just getting some free time out of it and just driving a little bit straighter off the corner. Let's see how well he can finish this lap off. Again, so deep under brakes. Every single one of these drivers maximising their braking points, pushing them to the limits. But as we're coming to the end of this lap, I know he had a really good last chicane the first lap, so it's interesting to see if he can just hold on to that time and finish the lap strong. That's going to put him fairly close to the top, I believe.
Great stuff.
Well done, so close, 0.05 of a second.
Very nice from you, Gabriel. As I said earlier on in qualifying, it's a real surprise to me to see him up there, and maybe I shouldn't be surprised because that's a properly strong time. I've seen him in the McLaren in the sprint series over the last couple of seasons, and he's certainly been fighting at the top. But yeah, that for mine is very it's very strong. Very, very nice stuff from you, Gabriel. So I did not know your game. I apologise. That's great stuff. So only less than a 10th off of Amaral Names 27.3 up there in P2. That's very nice work. But yeah, as I said, that lap from Amaral, very, very strong. So I'd be surprised to see too many beat it. Other than, as I said, maybe Lucas Keys. Toto very quick in the first qualifying session as well. Might give it a fair shake. And, hey, Darryl surprised us once already tonight. Maybe he'll have another go and throw it up there in BMW. We'll see how he goes. But at the moment, Saxon Hayes in the Skill Issue Racing Nissan, rolling around with Jaden Rondinella. This two-man team is very lucky to be still in silver after their performance at Coda. I don't know how they managed to send enough feet picks to stay in silver, but they should be bloody pro by now, these two. Have been monstering around in the sprint series, and both of them administrate and moderate the fruit bowl service as well. So very big names in ACC, these two. Getting all sorts of messed up over the first chicane there, wasn't he, boys? Both Glenn and Davo holding their breath.
That's what it's all about. Top 10, we're going for it. And again,
that's what Davo wants to see. He wants to see these cars
all I'm here for it. Mate, I'm not here to watch 8 hours. Like, if I want to watch a nice, smooth race, I've got 8 hours for that on Saturday night. Don't worry about that. Let's see some cars being flung around. That's what it's all about. Qualifying, fresh rubber, low fuel, put these cars and yourself to the ultimate test.
I know that's what you want to see, but I don't think Saxon will want to do that again, because this is going to be a 28.2. Oh, it's a 27.9. Hello, that's a very good first. He's got at least 3/10 in that first chicane, because that was hopeless. That first chicane was garbage. So if he cleans that up and manages to get the line right, he will find 3/10 in there very comfortably before he gets to the second sector. So there's still a lot of time in this lap from Saxon.
Zoom in on that green Delta, JC. I think that's what you're all going to be at this up right now. And
Yeah, all
I think
for
we're
it.
just going to watch
Nice.
it plummet down as it's coming up to the second chicane here.
Had a very nice first sector, but maybe just a little bit nervous around turn 3. Didn't quite get that right. That's much better through there. And the Delta will now shoot up, so you can see how much time is worth getting that first chicane right. And whilst it didn't look particularly impressive, that's what you get out of it. Half a second, ladies and gentlemen, of green Delta. So a very nice first chicane there. He's just got to keep sending it now, though. He can't afford to back off. Now that the tyres are up and about, he's got to keep braking late. He's got to keep using his hands to turn the car. He's got to get on the throttle early and trust that the Nissan will grip up, because he's just being a little bit shy now. As we come through the second sector, I really want to see a nice little tidy last couple of corners here from Saxon Hayes. He has gone deep under brakes, beautifully brought into the apex. Nice tidy exit, and was on throttle early. So I'll tell you what, his first lap must have been pretty bloody good, because he hasn't actually picked up too much extra time in that last sector, even though it looked very quick. But still good enough for P3. That's a very nice little lap there from Saxon Hayes, who, as I said, how these guys get away with being silvers beyond me. Go, Matt Powell, get out there and slap a pro badge on them. They've earned it. Jaden Rondinella especially. What a sweat. Anyway, on to the next one. This is your Rockets Evolved Nissan. Nissan after Nissan at the moment. The 111 entry. Another mainstay in Octane Online Racing's endurance series for years and years and years now. We've seen these guys barrel around in all sorts of different cars, but mostly the Nissan in the Rockets Evolved guys. So let's see what's... I was going to say Johnson, but it's not. It's Diggle. Aaron Lee's going to have a crack at it.
Mate, if I'm going to be biased against anyone here in the top 10, it's going to be Diggles here. Absolutely fantastic bloke and been a great asset to us in the Pidgey Boys chat. And mate, if there's one Nissan that I'm happy to see go around very fast, it's this one. But yeah, as this lap goes on, I know Aaron's definitely a guy to be sending it. He's not definitely not the conservative type. And great exit though. His big jump over that second curb, but still got the car planted and driving forward, which is great to see through the second chicane here. Or a little bit of a snap oversteer through that first section there. He's flat out though through that turn. Absolutely fantastic. I think the last Saxon Hayes struggled with this hairpin in that last Nissan just then in that second lap. It just did not want to get to the apex. I think that's where he lost his biggest time, but that looked much cleaner there from Aaron coming up to the last chicane. I'm backing a 27.8 here. It looked really fast.
It did look quick. It looked quicker than Saxon's, and his was a nice little 27.7 or something like that. It is quick. Yes, that's a great opening banker.
I know he's that was very close to being invalid. I know he's had some eyes on some higher spots, but he's got to hold it together here. Just try and make sure if he can sneak out a couple extra tenths in this second lap to make sure he gets in that top 5 cementy spot. Don't let it drop too far. But yeah, when you've got a banker that fast, it's sometimes hard to get on top of the car and go again.
You can see how consistent he's being. There's been no red or green Delta this whole time. It's been flat grey. He's doing exactly the same lap. We're on repeat. He's in a mirror. We're doing it all over again. Look how grey that Delta is. He hasn't budged. This is the most consistent performance in qualifying I've ever seen. He's not even 1,000th up or down. What are we looking at?
Who knows where he can improve right now? Because I thought the last sector he had in the first lap was pretty strong, but knowing Diggles, he's going to make sure he sends it through this last, because he's not going to leave any time on the table. Does he shortcut to the line as well? I've noticed with every single driver so far, they've just gone straight up the white line right here. Does the same.
That shows you how good that banker was. Goodness gracious. Under a tenth of improvement. Like, that lap was literally, I thought we were watching a replay. I thought Glenn had just chucked up a literal replay. That was incredible. I've never seen a Delta go that close to itself the whole lap. Never more than a tenth. That was incredible. Very strong consistency That's a very good sign for race pace from Diggle there. If he can pull that kind of consistency out in the race in what is clearly the quickest car here, they are going to have a very good time of it, the Rockets Evolved boys. They've clearly got that Nissan set up consistently, that platform very nice, behaving very nicely over the chicanes you saw. So that's a good sign. Whilst that qualifying performance from Lee will see them sort of in the top 3 or 4, they are on for a podium if they can they keep that car together. So great stuff there from Diggle.
Now the Pro-Am guys, the only survivor from Q1. Go on, Daryl. Go show us what we've got. If the MRT boys, I'm sure, have been in his ear, tuning him up, getting him mentally ready to put down 2 great laps here. But let's see if we can actually get some execution going as well. So far, looking pretty good. Coming down through the second chicane. I also wonder how hard it's been. He's been sitting there for 25 minutes as well, not being able to do any laps as well in this car. So I wonder if he was able to exit out and get some practice laps in, because all these other guys in the silver and pro category have just come off qualifying and still quite warm.
His line, ladies and gentlemen, through that second chicane was very aggressive, no? Everyone at the moment blaming Matt for a curse, who is rightly pointing out we haven't had an invalid laps yet, right? So impressive, or are they not sending enough? I don't know which one it is, but we're just going to watch him come over the line here. Is this lap valid? Or did he invalidate at that first chicane? It was invalid. Matty cursed it straight away. As soon as he put that in chat, he went through the second chicane and invalidated. I guarantee you go back, that's exactly where he invalidated. Matt has gone and cursed the living crap out of him. As soon as he put that in chat, he invalidated immediately. That's on you, Matt Powell. And that there is also very suboptimal. So whilst that looks valid and it is still green, it's not the optimal line, and that's invalid. Matt Powell, what have you done to him? You've absolutely ruined him. Oh, well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to see a time on the board. That's our first non-time for the evening, because he doesn't get another crack at it.
Mate,
So, no, like as I said, for the Pro-Am, for that Pro-Am car, that's an extremely good effort for sure. As you said, like you let him. I reckon you let him hang on to Pro-Am from there. And he's got some drivers in that car who will be a little bit out of place inside the top 10. So I reckon you'll let them hang on to Pro-Am there, and you just let them bang around in Pro-Am, see if they can hang on to that, because that's whilst it's a very good starting position, it's a whole different kettle of fish in the race with those guys that he's got in the car with him. So yeah, personally, I'd be letting him hang. He's not happy either. That's not your fault, Daryl. That's not your fault. Send a freaking invoice to Matt Powell, because that's his fault.
Straight out the gate, Fords over Ripples. Love this. That's just V8 supercar. That's everything I want to be around. Lone Ford in the top 10. Hanging it out. Getting the warmth in those tyres. Is this coming out of the pits, or is this his banker lap? Out of the pits, okay. I was about to say, it's a bit wild for a banker lap. I felt like that was quite forced upon sideways action right there.
The Ford sounds good, Diabols, but I think the Aston's the best in the game. But I'm impartial to the Aston, right? Everyone likes the Maserati GT4, for example, is a very nice one. The Aston V12, the old Aston that no one drives anymore because it's too old and it's too slow. Everyone loves that one as well. And obviously everyone's subjective, but for mine, I think the Aston still clears. But the Ford's right up there. Ford's a very nice sounding car, that's for sure.
Say yes, hashtag purple magic. That is exactly right. Let's see if we can ask guys to put down a magic lap to start with and build on that as the session goes on. Coming up to our first chicane. You know, I love this. Fords over curbs. Here it goes.
Oh boy.
Launched it over. Yes, that's exactly what this qualifying session's all about, and Zolder's all about, running those curbs. and seeing if we can get some lap time out of the car. Still looking quite strong though. I'm expecting a decent lap time out of here. Does it rotate through the... Yes, nicely to the apex there. Look at it drive off the corner. Perfectly straight line. Love that. Coming into the final 2 turns. Late on the brakes. Early on the throttle. It's trying to step out on him. Nice banker lap. Let's see how if
What's he got?
guys can improve upon that. 27.
Nice.
7. Lovely.
Yeah, it didn't look like a particularly tidy first sector, but the rest of the lap was very nice, very strong, as you said, getting the car towards the apex. Lost a lot of time here and has picked up a bit, manages to hang on to it. And this third turn here, he seemed to have just stepped out a little bit and didn't quite get on the throttle the way he wanted to. So hopefully he can pick it up here. Again there, just kind of sharpened off the exit. You can see the car really struggling to stay on track. So whilst he didn't lose any time, he certainly didn't make up any because he did the same thing on that first lap. And Jesus, that looks uncomfortable through there. But again, just seems to have grabbed a little bit of extra momentum on the exit. So he is improving.
I just love how close this top 10 shooter is right now. 2nd through 10th, essentially, in the grand scheme of things, is 2 tenths. That's unbelievable from all these drivers right now.
Oh, nice and deep into the hairpin here. Can he hang on to it? He's lost the rear on the exit. It was a nice entry, but the Ford and the extra power that vehicle's got, even with the 20% restrictor that we're currently running now, just managing to step out there and has unfortunately bled away all of that nice time that he gained in the middle sector. So doesn't improve, but a respectable effort, and currently sitting in P6. I'd be pretty pleased with that, I would suggest.
Name has gone from P9 to currently, at worst, P3.
Yeah, don't say I didn't warn you.
That is an incredible lap time to come out there so early. And again, just putting the pressure on the board. Like, sometimes it's not the greatest to go last in top 10 shootouts, because you can go out there and put a great lap on board and they're all going, well, I need to go faster than that, and some mistakes come out and go invalid, or not quite get the right line. All of a sudden, you're looking pretty good.
Toto dragging the brakes all the way up the back straight, just preparing this Nissan as well as he possibly can. Dual Fefe shakes on the rear as we get underway, and a very strong showing in the initial qualifying session. Nathan's been very fast in the F1 series for a long time and has only just popped his head into ACC in the last sort of season or two, but has very quickly come up to speed. And all of our greatest drivers in OOR history have shown exactly that they are capable of driving any car on their day. They can transition between high downforce cars and low downforce cars and different car classes, and all our best drivers have been able to do that. So Nathan starting to show that he's up amongst that top echelon, but he's got to get this second lap better than this first one, because he can see he's a bit frustrated with himself at the moment, just sort of dancing that front end around, trying to get some warmth into those tyres. And you might be right, Davo, he may have just butchered this first lap
away, yeah.
So now with a chance to prepare the vehicle on what is now going to be a one-lap dash, which puts even more pressure on him. Davo, as you said.
Get the nerves out, shake the hands, reset, go again. I think everyone here's put down some very good banker laps anyway, so I think it's just a nice lap down the middle, as we always say. Still going to be quite fast, especially with the pace that he's shown in initial qualifying.
So here he goes again. And as we said, he gets one shot at it now. One chance, one spaghetti, something like that. Don't hold me to it. Here we go. Now, Delta's going to be telling porkies to us, so I'm not sure I'm going to pay particular attention to it, because we're going to see that go absolutely berserk here, and by the end of it, it's going to look like he's going to be doing a 124 if I know my ACC deltas. So don't pay too much attention to what you see up there in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Just keep an eye on the lines and the lengths. And a very aggressive line through there. It didn't look like it bounced too much on him too on the exit. So definitely room to be had, but it's pretty good through there. Not too bad. This is a nice entry and a nice exit. Very nice. That's good carry, good speed through there, good momentum, and a very tidy little second chicane. Full throttle as you should be, all the way through that tight little right-hander. Deep under brakes and a nice wide entry down into the hairpin early on the throttle. Very nice exit. Look at that, all the way out to the edge, and was full throttle even before he completed that apex. This is a very nice little lap developing here for Nathan Monks. So now into the final chicane. All he's got to do is get it nice and tidy through, and again maximising the track. This is a very nice lap. I'm expecting a mid-27. This is a very nice little lap. A 27.3 goes to pole. He's beaten Amaral Name with 1 lap to do it. He's clutched up, has Toto.
That looked incredible the entire way around that track. Not one tyre roll was out of place. Every single turn in every single mark he wanted to hit. You could see it in the car's attitude. Just looked incredible.
Well, enjoy P1 for now, Toto. Go ahead, take a photo of it, put it up on the wall quickly, because it's not going to be there long. This man here is way too fast for us mere mortals. And if his livery creations were as good as his pace, then we wouldn't be looking at this crap, I give you the tip. This will be the pole position driver. He, again, doing the same thing as Toto did here. You can see him dragging the brakes all the way down into the last chicane, preparing the GTR for an attack on pole position. Get ready. I reckon we're saying a 26 here, Davo.
Hey, you're counting your chickens, aren't you, mate?
No, I've got that much faith and confidence, mate. I give you the tip.
Oh, just straight away, loosey-goosey Nissan GTR. Doubles, yes, agreed. Keys needs a 20% restrictor as well. Put him in a Ford. But yep, through the first sector, looking very clean, maximising the exit. Let's see Lucas's line through this first chicane. Misses the first inside ripple strip. Very interesting. Maybe the only driver to do that. Coming down into the second chicane. This is where I think he makes up most of his time on a lot of drivers. Just exit speed he gets from here and how controlled that looks. Using every single inch of the road, as all good drivers do. Early turn in. Looked like he went a little, very deep into that first edge, that hairpin just then. I wonder how deep into the 27s he's going, or is this going to be a 26 off the mark?
If it's a 26 off the mark, I will eat my teacup.
Start chewing.
Oh, God. Oh, God. That was so close. That would have been very awkward. Porcelain is not nutritious. Oh, no.
Quick
Well,
trip
there you
to
go.
dentist.
Everyone go home. That's it. That's it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The Zolder 8 hour qualifying is done. We'll see you on Saturday. Lucas Keys, ladies and gentlemen. Goodness gracious. I told you he's good. But I didn't see that coming. I thought we'd see maybe a low, like a 27.2. I did think he'd be P1 on his banker. I thought he'd do something pretty similar to this, but to be almost in the 26s on what are probably not even premium tyres, and as you can see, he's literally already 2/10 up. We are witnessing greatness. Oh, he's invalidated his second.
Validated his second
Washed
lap.
idiot. Get off. No, just send him in the back. You can't have that.
Again, a very interesting line. I'm interested to see how many people change their lines through that first chicane.
Washed.
Completely missed the first left-hand curb and really launched the second one. I'm interested to see as this race develops now, because obviously now we've seen these fast laps go down, how the lines change leading up to the 8-hour start.
Washed. Just practiced in the pit entry. Tricky pit entry too, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't practiced this pit entry, get out there and do it. It's actually a pain in the ass, the entry and the exit. We've seen some massive collisions in previous Zolder races in OOR at the pit entry, because the brake marker for the pit entry is actually around about the same spot as the brake marker for the final turn. It's not much different. So a lot of people pulling into the pits, obviously trying to do so carefully, get on the anchors just a touch early. And then, you know, obviously the cars who are still racing and not intending to enter the pit lane aren't ready for it and go straight up their backside. So be ready for that. And then, of course, the pit exit as well, straight onto the racing line. It is a pain in the ass pit lane here at Zolder. So for God's sake, if you haven't already and you are new to Zolder, go and practice your pit entries before Saturday, because it's going to gain you and lose you a lot of time if you don't get it right. It's Jay Hislop and his teammate, some Keys fella, on pole. 27.0, could have been a 26. It was on its way too. You saw that Delta. We were going to see a mid-26 there, I'm sure of it. Nathan Monks with a real god lap there at the end, clutched up with only one lap to do it after invalidating his first. Him and Gobby will start in P2, and it is a Nissan front row lockout, the strength of that car coming to the fore this evening. Name with a very nice lap there, not quite getting it done in the initial qualifying session, but doing enough to put himself in the shootout, and then doing all the work here with all the pressure on and the eyes on, put himself in P3 very early on. That's a nice lap from Amaral Name, and Salvaggio in P4 on the second row. And then Lee and Cook on the third row, Squirrels and Darrell 7 and 8. And I can't remember who left, but they are 9 and 10. So, no, actually, I think Darrell's 10, didn't he? Invalidated. But, so, yeah,
correct.
Anyway. That's it, though. Zolder, 8 hours. Is there anything we should be getting ready, or are we just going to dip into Saturday? Glenn, have we got anything do you want to catch up on, or are we just going to let everyone go and enjoy their Thursday evening? I think we're done. We're past 10 o'clock. It's past my bedtime, that's for sure. David Stevenson, ladies and gentlemen, on debut. Thank you to you, Davo. How'd you go?
Mate, thank you guys so much. Yeah, again, shout out to the YouTube chat. It was a great hand, keeping us all updated with all the information we needed to do, and mostly thank you to JC. That was absolutely incredible qualifying, and I'm looking forward to the start of the 8 hour on Saturday.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be a banger. Can't wait. See you on Saturday. Best on ground chat. Thanks, Glenn. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, everyone. Ciao, ciao.